Uh, and we're live.
All right.
I don't know. Did you? Was there anything you wanted to discuss in particular?
In regards to which topic? Is it on GamerGate or
Yeah.
all right, GamerGate? Well, what can be said about GamerGate that has not been said already?
I mean, what are your thoughts on the issue?
Well, first of all, we gotta recognize that GamerGate is a very complex issue. It's not just I don't consider it just a consumer revolt. Because just considering as a consumer revolt is also ignoring the undeniable reality that there's also currently a culture clash between gamers and the people that call themselves part of the gaming community because they're part of the journalist of the gaming journalist scene.
Yeah.
And of course, there's also the people that consume this journalism but are not part of the gaming community and yet are part of the greater internet community.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
It's become so much bigger now, at
mhm.
least lately.
To call it just a consumer revolt is to deny the reality that right now there's a bigger issue at hand here, and that's that right now we have authoritarians that are trying to tell a group of people, a large group of people, what they can and can't like, what they can and can't consume. And right now, we gotta admit something to ourselves here. That's not right. It's not right for a minority, any group of people to tell large groups of people what they can and can't do.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
true.
what you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Um, I think it's the social justice warriors trying
Mhm.
to tell us what we can and cannot do.
Exactly. And of course, there's no denying that there's another issue at hand here, the corruption in journalism, which is really the big issue here. Now, a lot of people are going through the incorrect notion that Gamergate started because of the Zoe post.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people have made it clear that it was like in the First World War where Franz Ferdinand was shot, but it wasn't
Mhm.
the reason he got shot. It just everything blew up.
Yeah, do you remember Mighty Number Nine?
Yeah,
Yeah, to December 2013, there was a big brouhaha because Dina Abu Karam, a girl that was not a fan of Mega Man, was given a position, a very strong position in a Mega Man fan community for this game. And what did we see? We saw the gaming journalists defend her.
yeah,
They were claiming that the insatisfaction against Dina Abu Karam was based on misogyny and not on the fact that this girl gained a position, a very important position. She was a community manager, and she was also the link between the fans and the developers for the game. And she got that position because she knew someone who was working on the game. Some sources say it was her boyfriend, some sources say it was her best friend. I don't know who it was, but I do know she did not earn that position by her credentials.
yeah. I heard something about that, so I'm not totally familiar with it, but I've heard something about uh, someone getting a job where they weren't fit for it.
That's called nepotism. Do
Yeah,
you remember that Ian Miles Cheong? You know that guy, right?
yeah.
Well, he wrote a piece on Mighty Number Nine, and you know what he did?
No, I haven't read the article.
Well, I have. Unfortunately, I've wasted 10 minutes of my life reading it. Unfortunately, it was an article that painted the insatisfaction against this nepotism, against Dina Abu Karam's, uh, that she hadn't earned this position, and at the same time, and Ian was defending her. And not only was he defending her, he was attacking the entire community. He called the community. He said the community was disrespectful. And by the way, I'm being nice here because his language was a little stronger.
Yeah.
It was also very condescending. And the article is still online. But I gotta give credit where it's due. At least he didn't pull a Sarkeesian and delete the comments. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The article is called "Be Kind and Respectful." Mighty Number 9 explodes with a misogynistic controversy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of things that's happened. I've said it on a stream yesterday where I said I think it dates back to 2008 where Jeff Gerstmann was fired. I think it really started back then. I don't know
You
if
know,
you heard about it.
I'm afraid that I've never been big on gaming journalism. I always saw them as a joke.
Yeah, it was on GameSpot in 2008. He reviewed Kane and Lynch and gave it a 5.5, I think, or 5. And he got
Mhm.
fired for doing that because they had so much advertisement on the sites. So they
Uh,
just fired him, and he even said in like last year or something that he got fired just because of that.
no, that's terrible. A journalist should not be fired because of an opinion. And if a person is a reviewer, then if he gives a review, then he's doing his job. It's not
Yeah,
his job to give a positive review. His job is to give an honest review.
yeah, exactly. And that's what happened. They just fired him, and that eventually led to Giant Bomb becoming his site.
Giant Bomb?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know that Giant Bomb had a bit of a controversy back in June 2014, right?
Can't remember. You have to refresh me.
Well, do you know Samantha Allen?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard about her.
Okay, so in June 2014, apparently a friend of Miss Allen tried out for a gig on Giant Bomb, and the site hired someone else. Someone who apparently and allegedly is friends with the editor-in-chief of the site. And Samantha Allen took to Twitter to what's the word? Protest this
Yeah,
decision. Unfortunately, Miss Allen took the social justice warrior route, and instead of criticizing the nepotism, she criticized the racial policy or the alleged racial policies of Giant Bomb for hiring another white guy.
I think I've heard about that, and it was that wasn't the case. The other guy who got the job was more qualified.
Apparently, he was. And then, you know what happened after that? Well, Samantha Allen received some death threats. She received some death threats, and that's the reason why she doesn't write about gaming anymore. Not that she was ever good at it, but this is a huge problem the internet community is facing right now. Because of the anonymity of the internet, a lot of people have taken to participate in behavior that polite society would find reprehensible, even criminal.
Yeah, I just think it's just piled up, and stuff like that. It's just what makes people just frustrated. I think just things are piled up. I don't know if you've heard about the 2012.
Hmm.
There was another journalist who got fired because he discovered corruption in the industry. He was on Eurogamer. He discovered that journalists were given consoles and games and stuff like that
Hmm.
on reward shows, and they were insinuating to give them good reviews and stuff like that, and for that he got fired. So it's just so much stuff that I think people are just fed up and want something new in the media, because I haven't really trusted any sites really when it comes to reviews, or the only thing I really watch for is the news, because they can really uh,
Give an honest opinion.
fuck that up. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is terrible because it really proves that whistleblowing is still a dangerous practice. The whistleblower sacrifices him or herself, his or her career,
Yeah,
just to have a little justice in this world. And often the people who've been outed as corrupt, they tend to get away with this. Unless we take action and unless we force consequences on corruption, then the sacrifices made by whistleblowers will be for nothing.
yeah, I totally
That
agree.
that is why, if I may be allowed a few more words, that is why we of Gamergate have to continue our boycotts against Gawker Media. We have to continue fighting Gawker until consequences are felt. And I personally feel that the people of Gamergate, should not be satisfied with anything less than the complete deletion of Gawker.
Yeah, I think Gawker is about to fall, because yesterday they lost Dyson as a advertiser. I think they're pretty much screwed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think unless they really change things up, they're gonna be gone at the end of the year, or early next year. Because
I totally agree.
yeah,
Please
no, go ahead.
continue.
No, it's just they're gonna be gone. Same with Kotaku, because they're the ones really who started it all, and they didn't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
They just continue. And when people, it's just a lot of years of frustration,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just coming out, and they're now lashing out against the media.
Of course we are. You know, you have this. You know the terrible things Gawker has done. Let me tell you some of the Gawker's hypocrisy. Okay.
Yeah, I've
Now,
seen the bullying and that shit.
do
So
you
yeah,
know the Hulk Hogan?
yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, for the members of our audience, for the members of
Hey,
our audience who, hey, what's up?
oh,
Please turn up.
I mean, yes, great.
Hey, what's
Awesome.
up, man? What's up? Okay, for the members of our audience, I'm assuming we have an audience, by the way, who do not know, the Hulk Hogan had a sex tape, and Gawker Media managed to get their hands on it. And do you know what Gawker Media did?
Yeah,
They did nothing. They published it and did nothing.
uh, you can just pull your camera off. Yeah, it lags a little bit if you have the camera on. Oh, yeah,
Thank
managed.
you.
Oh, he managed. He's probably gonna come back in.
Yeah, probably that's wrong. Anyway, so yeah, Gawker Media. took that what was the name? What was it? Took the sex tape and they shared bits and pieces of it. They totally shared a celebrity's sex tape.
Yeah.
Now, when Jennifer Lawrence's nudes were released, what did Gawker Media do?
They defend her, if I recall correctly.
Can you repeat that one?
I think they defend her. Like, I'm not sure. I am not really into celeb news.
They defended her. They condemned every person that shared, person that fapped to those nudes. They defended her. They condemned and they defended. But when Hulk Hogan had his sex tape leaked, they spread that sex tape. They kept at it. And Hulk Hogan is not the first person, it's not the only person they did that to.
Yeah.
Do any of you recall what happened to Dylan Sprouse?
No, I can't remember.
Dylan Sprouse has had his nudes leaked, and Gawker Media made fun of him.
Yeah, it's a double standard.
It's a double standard, and we gotta ask ourselves: is this tolerable? Is it tolerable for for any media to hold such a double standard?
No, it's not. I mean, that's why we're calling out the bullshit, because
Of course.
pulling the ads, sending emails, tweeting about it, and where we've had a lot of revelations during the last 2 months. So I think we're gonna get there, but how long it's gonna take, I don't know. Because as long as stuff like this is happening, it's not gonna stop.
You know, I'm also interested in there's a couple of people who I feel need to feel some consequences for their actions. One of these people is Devin Farasi, or Faraki.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. General asshole. Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, we've all seen what he's had to say about gamers, haven't we?
Yeah.
Personally, I think that another movement that we GamerGaters have to take up is that we have to warn sites, publishing sites, against these people like Devin Faraci, Kate Thor, Jansen. We need to warn them that these people promote bullying, promote hatred, and that these people should never be allowed to contribute to any site.
Baby steps, Joe. Baby steps. Let's not lose our focus.
Of course not. First Gawker Media, then these people.
And the thing with David or whatever is that he's a blogger. He's not like a Gawker journalist. It's a more unofficial fight.
Yeah. Still, what we have from people like him is unacceptable behavior, and I'm not saying that. Go on.
What's amazing to me is like all the I don't know, these stereotypes that we gamers receive from the general population and only from the journalists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember people, celebrities out of nowhere coming in the first weeks calling us misogynists for no reason at all. A good example is Will Wheaton, who has been like a almost oh my god, he's such an asshole too. But I find it really ironic that they fight for equality, yet we are being discriminated. We are being called misogynist. We are called sexist, and we are called elitist because we apparently don't allow women into gaming.
I think that there's a bit of a bitter irony in Will Wheaton's behavior. For those of you who don't know, Will Wheaton's major claim to fame is starring in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, it was Will Crusher or whatever.
Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, he was one of the most hated characters in the entire franchise. And Will Wheaton got a lot of angry letters from people against the character. And really, Will Wheaton is one of the people who should know how dangerous and painful it is to receive hate. And yet, what are we seeing from him? What are we seeing from Will Wheaton?
Yeah,
The,
he's gone against GamerGate. I don't know why.
no, is that and people see him as some kind of paragon of nerd culture.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, of course not.
You know, if I may say something about Will Wheaton,
Yeah, sure.
you know, Will Wheaton is one of those guys that you really hope that when you really get to know his work, you find out about how much he suffered because of Star Trek: The Next Generation. You kind of hope that he gets a big break and he gets redeemed in the eyes of the public. But then he pulls stunts like this, and it becomes that much harder to sympathize with him.
Did you see the tweet that he sent it to his fans, telling them to call some random dude a cunt because he apparently referred to GamerGate when he hadn't done that?
That's terrible. I have not seen that tweet personally. If I may have a copy of that image.
I will send it to you. Don't worry. I have it around here somewhere.
Yeah, just put it in the chat. We can see it and click on it. You open the chat.
I think he deleted it, but of course the internet never forgets.
Of course not. You know, in part of the fight for GamerGate, one thing we have to do is we have to save every image. I trust you guys have folders full of images from GamerGate.
I just sent mails, man. I just sent mails.
That's understandable. You know, I have a folder, an anti-GamerGate folder full of images by not just celebrities and journals expressing anti-GamerGate attitudes, but also from random people on the internet. You know, one of the hardest images I've ever seen was a picture of the 9/11 terrorist attacks with the caption, "It's actually about ethics in gaming journalism." You know,
I
I don't
am
know.
not surprised. I was not surprised when I saw that. They're gonna use every single thing they can use to mock us, to change our image.
You know, if I may say something here, and this is 100% serious. I don't know how old you guys are, but I was 15 when 9/11 happened. And that week, that month, the rest of that year was extremely difficult for everyone. You know, and it's not just that 3,000 people died that day. It's not just that an era ended that day and another one began. You know, that was a day when the worst of humanity was at its forefront, while at the same time the best of humanity was shining through. And here we have these people, I'm gonna hold back. I don't want to hold back, and at the same time I do because I have such a strong word for them. They appropriated this tragedy, the defining tragedy of the 21st century for the United States of America, and they are using it to make fun of people whose biggest crime has been to have a hobby.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the only thing they can really do. They can't do anything when you think about it. What can they do against us?
They can't do jack shit. That's what they can do. And
Exactly.
I hope you pardon my language.
No, don't worry. Pardon my language too is my second language, and I
Mine
haven't
too.
practiced in a bit.
No problem, man. Hey, you're Latino, right?
Oh, what gave it away? Shit.
Nah, man.
Stop
You know
talking to
I'm
me.
Latino too. I'm Latino too, man.
Okay, excellent, perfect.
Excelente.
I was 11 when 9 and recently I went to New York to Ground Zero. No, not recently, a few years ago.
Mhm.
And I gotta say the atmosphere was really creepy, man. You could almost hear the panic in your ears.
Damn.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, that's really serious, man. And they use that against that. They have no shame at all.
there's no shame. And then Devin Faraci comparing us to the Islamic State. The Islamic State, that group of terrorists who are currently beheading journalists, who are currently attacking towns in Iraq and Syria, who are guilty of the murder of untold numbers of people, innocent people, who have done nothing to anyone but exist. And we are being compared to that? Compared unfavorably,
And
even.
their
I
justification is that ISIS decapitated a journalist.
Mhm.
So they believe that in some sort we are doing the exact same thing. We are decapitating journalists, at least in a figurative sense.
Well, pardon me if I sound a little angry, but I
Don't worry,
find that.
but let's breathe. Breathe in, out, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Are we talking about the ISIS thing?
yeah.
yeah,
We're
Yeah.
talking about the ISIS thing,
Ah,
the Devin Faraci and ISIS thing.
I don't know. What
This
are
is,
your thoughts?
I mean, David has his own logic, his own insane logic when he can connect things when they aren't. So I just block him in Twitter and move on with my life and write
Yeah,
emails and shit.
yeah,
he's just trying to compare us with like the worst thing on top of his head right now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically saying literally worse than Hitler. That's it.
yeah. But there's a bit of a difference because right now well, hold on, hold that thought because I think that Luffy. Hey man,
Yeah,
how do you pronounce your name?
you pronounce it correctly.
Luffy.
Lutfi, yeah. If you've seen
Okay,
One Piece, it's the same thing.
okay. By the way, what's that you're holding there? Because it looks delicious.
Oh, they're like Japanese waffles. I live in Japan, so yeah.
All right, now that's a country.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Love Japan.
We get shit talked by
I learned.
developers by journalists all the time.
yeah. But really, let me ask this question:
Hmm?
Is it really okay?
Oh, jeez.
Go on.
Is it really okay?
Is
Uh,
it really?
I, uh, an article of Liberty Boys called us that we have been unrepresented.
We have been,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
that's
let
true,
me.
definitely.
Yeah. And, and yes, continue, Angelo. Sorry, my bad. It was my
No,
bad.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. Don't worry about it. I just want to ask: Is it really okay to compare anything to these lunatics, Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, the Islamic
Absolutely
State?
not, definitely. It's ad hominem, and they're horrible people. And the thing is, there's next to nothing that's relating us to them.
Yeah,
So there's absolutely no point in them doing it. They just want to stoke fires and make themselves feel good about it.
indeed.
And uh, and what they want to do is brand us as the enemy because that's how they work.
Yeah,
SJW types, if it's not the white man, patriarchy, I don't know, consumerism, they need an enemy to work on. And what they're trying to
yeah.
do is have us gamers as the enemy by painting us as the worst possible colors possible, I think. Yeah.
You know, if I may, Juan, how about you give us some words on that,
On what? On what
Okay.
exactly?
on social justice warriors?
Oh, shit. We could go all night with this. For me, they have well intentions, but when they actually do it, it turns around and they become monsters.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
are cultural bullies,
yeah,
and they're very, very, very misguided. They, jeez, and they believe in that somehow everybody is equal, so everybody must be equal. There is a difference in that. When I say that everyone must be equal, means that there is
hmm,
no difference in individuals. Means that everybody must believe in the same thing.
yeah. That's terrible.
That's
Which is
never gonna
absolutely
happen.
ridiculous.
That's never gonna happen. And they bully people in order to turn them somehow into what they believe. They are doing the exact same thing with games.
Yeah,
What is that thing called horseshoe theory? Yeah. Um, the idea that people on the furthest sides of the political spectrum are pretty much the same thing.
mhm.
I must admit, I don't care much
Well,
about
explain it.
um, political ideology, but I do care about culture because it what makes us a society or a community unique, and they are trying to destroy that. I mean, when somebody calls GG a cultural war, I found that with mixed feelings. I cannot deny that, but I don't support that either.
You know, let me, if I may expand on that idea, the political thing, the political horseshoe thing.
Hmm.
Personally, I find that I've been to a site that calls politics a bit of a cross. As you know, there's left wing and right wing, right?
Yeah.
Well, each of these wings has two layers. You have the authoritarian layer and the libertarian layer.
Oh, yes, a political
I
compass. Yeah.
Yeah. And what we're seeing here is the left wing of authoritarians. We're seeing feminists, we're seeing so-called progressivists that are trying to instill their authority, their morals, their standards on a culture that technically is multi-political. Gamers are not entirely left wing or right wing. We're everything.
yeah.
We're international. We're interpolitical. We're multicultural.
It's like there's absolutely a connection
I
between, you're
mean,
right,
I mean,
gaming and politics.
By the way, what
I'm
does
Latino, and thanks to GamerGate, I now have a trans best friend. Oh my God, an Asian friend.
hmm
I mean, Jesus, our community is kind of vast and it's kind of great.
Yeah.
if I may say something about how gaming changed my life, I also happen to be a member of the Switzerland Revival movement. We're a movement trying to revive a video game franchise called Suikoden. You guys heard of it? Suikoden?
No,
No,
first I've
I'm
heard of it.
afraid not. Sorry.
It's kind of an underrated RPG series,
It's an old
and
game.
Right.
it's a game. It's a series that saw releases from 1996 to around 2007.
Okay.
Anyway, you know how many people comprise that movement and from what countries?
No, I don't really know.
We have people from everywhere, from Indonesia, Australia, Japan,
I'm
Taiwan.
Indonesian.
What?
I'm Indonesian too.
Oh, awesome. We have
But yeah,
people
that's
from both hemispheres. You know that, and that's just a portion of the gaming community. You know, how many gamers have met their best friends because of a game? You know, how many marriages has World of Warcraft started?
Angel, I found a tweet where I put it. Where do I put it?
Put it anywhere. In fact, share it with the GamerGate, with the
Okay.
GamerGate Facebook group.
Do you know that I'm an admin of that group? Just saying.
You're an admin?
Yeah. What
Oh.
do you think of the group? Just for a little feedback.
Well, first of all, I'm very happy to be a part of it. It kind of spans my Facebook feed a lot, but you know,
We
when
are
you're
very
part,
active. We are
yeah,
very active.
we're very active, which is great. I'm also part of
803 so
another.
far.
I'm also part of another GamerGate group, which is hashtag GamerGate.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one here who's like that too. But right now, GamerGate 2014 is. I found it to be a very welcoming community.
We are having current problems with the bans because some people are getting banned with no reason, and all the admins don't know who is doing that. We believe it's a Facebook glitch. So
Yeah,
be
Right.
patient, please. If you
yeah,
if
of
you
course,
if you are banned, please contact me or any of the admins. Please,
of
please,
All right.
course,
please.
Sweet.
of course. All
Thanks
right
for the
then.
heads up.
Sorry for derailing the conversation, but I needed to say that.
No,
I
no,
needed,
No
no,
needed
biggie.
to
No
say
biggie.
no
that.
worries, man. No worries. You know,
Like
Uh,
yeah. I've met my best friend through gaming too, and it taught me one of the most important things ever. It taught me how to
mhm.
speak English. So no, really,
Man,
like the very first words that I could speak back then was new game and load game or save and game over, things like that. So
what game
it
was it?
really, huh? I
What game
think
was it?
I think the first games that I played were Crash for the PS1,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was that one Batman and Robin game for the PS1
Uh-huh.
as well, which was insanely difficult, and
Oh man.
yeah,
You
and
know,
Tekken.
I gotta say something. You know what makes a
What's up?
gamer? A gamer
What is it?
is someone who identifies so hard with gaming that they can do stuff no other community can do. I think that a gamer can enumerate several games that changed their lives for the better.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wouldn't I wouldn't be the man that I'm today without gaming. I have to say
Uh-huh.
that. I will
Yeah.
defend gaming with my life thanks to that.
So will I, my brother. So will I. We have
I mean,
another
Same
one.
here.
I mean, the first game that I remember that I really thought of an experience, because games are not a toy. They are
No.
not. They are an experience.
They've
Uh, by
evolved
the
beyond
way,
that,
by the
definitely.
way, I got a question. What does nine Niemeldingers mean?
What does what?
Nine Niemeldinger. Net Prat. That's some. I think it's
What's
either
that?
German or Swedish. I don't know. Wait a minute.
Oh,
So,
that's probably from my part.
all right.
What did you want to ask?
Net Prat. What does that mean?
Oh, that's not that's the chat.
All right then.
Uh,
So there's a chat.
Sorry for the language. I haven't configured it to English.
No problem. This is very interesting. You know that I study languages.
you're
I'm
gonna.
a linguist. I'm studying linguistics.
Huh.
Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the game that
Yeah.
made me. It was Knights of the Old Republic. Did you play that?
Knights
The
of the
Yeah,
Republic.
before BioWare destroyed it and turned it into the old Republic. Yeah, good
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm
that
afraid I
game
can't say I have.
that game taught me that no matter what you do, no matter what you are up against, the most important thing is to do the right thing. The
That is
thing
true.
that You must do what you believe in. You must defend that.
Indeed.
Hey,
No
Dustin,
one can
just
deny it.
jump in if you want to say something.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just listening. Yeah, I went in late because I'm playing Fantasy Life, and it's kind of addictive. And I was doing a boss, and it's kind of a pain in the ass.
That's a new Ninty thing, yeah?
Well,
Huh?
good luck with that.
Is that
I'm
the
sorry?
new Nintendo thing?
Yeah, the new Nintendo 3DS game. If you're into RPGs, yeah, you definitely want this game. It's probably going to be like Game of the Year just off that. Very
Oh
colorful.
man.
Did you
Oh
do
man.
you guys saw the second interview that Georgia had? Georgia, the neutral girl who always defends us despite being called neutral all the time.
Uh,
Mhm.
um,
No,
I think
I
she
have
posted
not.
something
In the in
recently,
the
but
in the hub in the hub in the hub spot with the host with glasses. Do you remember? Did you saw that interview?
I'm afraid I did not.
Familiar.
Ryan Camilleri? Rick Camilleri?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Oh.
that's the guy.
Oh yeah, he
He
did a second one with other people, right? She did a second one with two other
uh,
people who are anti-Gamergate.
uh, no, he did a second one with Georgia, who was neutral, or she calls herself neutral. I consider her very pro GG. And journalist from the Time Post, from the Washington Post and Time. Did you saw that interview?
Hmm. I
No.
might have, but I
Alright.
can't really
Uh,
remember.
what
You mean the one where? I mean, I saw the first. I mean, are you talking about with all the GamerGate girls? Is that what you're talking about?
no,
The second one, the one after that.
No, I
yeah,
didn't see that one.
Really,
what
really, we really need to see that interview. Can
the
anyone? Is there a link to the interview in the group?
I will post it.
I'll look it
I
up.
will post it. I promise. Once this is over.
All right then.
I am not good at multitasking.
And by the way, welcome to the chat, Robin.
Hi, sorry, I
All
didn't
right.
want to interrupt.
Huh?
I said hi, I didn't want to interrupt.
No problem.
Yeah, I was in the same boat.
Where
Feel
I
free
was
to
going,
contribute.
where I was going with the interview is that the host asked her a very important question. He said that nobody is gonna take away the games that these journals consider sexist. Nobody's gonna take away Call of Duty. Nobody's gonna take away Gears of War, etc., etc. But I find it that really short-sighted because most of the game devs that actually talk about Gamergate in Twitter are very anti-GG. They actually believe in what the media has told them, and they actually change their work around that idea.
If I recall, I think it was the Divinity Original Sin developers. They had to change the cover of the game because journalists and SUWs were complaining about boob plate.
I recall the guy tweeting about that. It really wasn't pushed on him.
Huh?
He just did it so that they would shut up about it. That's pretty much it. But
all right.
speaking of interviews, I feel like the Colbert Report definitely got more flack than it deserved because I mean,
Yes.
first of all, I mean he didn't slam us. I don't believe he did. I believe he did what everyone expected him to do as a someone that does comedy. And he brought up three really great points that a lot of people overlooked, and that's Gamergate was being harassed as well. That there's a large goddamn library where these women can, that feel like they're being triggered by these specific things, or these individuals rather. And not only that, but why complain about it if that library exists? There was another point. I unfortunately don't remember it, but he wasn't saying Gamergate was a bad thing. He never actually said it was a harassment campaign. Anita Sarkeesian was the only one pushing that, and she repeated it over and over again. And in my opinion, and some of the people that aren't related to Gamergate kind of got that vibe, that she was pushing kind of a viewpoint that wasn't completely accurate. And
You know,
huh?
there was there was a point there where Anita Sarkeesian was asked to name 3 games, right?
Yeah, that one too. Yeah.
But that is kind of
Oh man.
that's kind of ridiculous. I think that shows that she wanted to focus the conversation on something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I am pretty sure Anita knows 3 games. I mean, people that don't do gaming often know 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Oh, one
But-
more thing I'd like to add about the Colbert review report thing is
Mhm.
that what a lot of us have seen was only Anita's interview, yeah? The
Mhm.
thing is,
Yeah.
if you look at the context of the entire episode, Stephen Colbert also invited another feminist to the show right after Anita's, and she was, I can't remember, she was talking about how media doesn't actually affect thoughts and sexism, yada yada yada, and how in comics the sexuality aspect is actually empowering, and she was really reasonable about it. So I think what he did was kind of a compare and contrast thing, which was actually really helpful to our side. But the thing is, nobody saw the second interview.
No,
Which is too bad.
was that the next episode, or was it the interview after her?
Straight after her, if I recall.
I recall the episode ending after her, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, he did have someone on the next episode relating to that, but I didn't bother watching it because I'm not like a huge follower of Colbert or Jon Stewart. They're funny and everything, but
Yeah.
I'm not big on cable television, you know.
I only
know-
found out about this from Loping anyway, so yeah.
If I may, maybe a lot of few words, and this has to do with the topic, so bear with me because it's a little long-winded. I'm a Puerto Rican, and in Puerto Rico, we had a show kind of similar to the Colbert Report. It was called Super Exclusivo.
Okay, yeah. Super exclusive. Super exclusive.
Super Exclusivo, yeah. And it was a celebrity gossip news show, and the host was a puppet.
Oh
It was-
yeah. We have one of those here too.
Yeah, this is important. So, in December of 2012, they reported something. They reported on another murder because in my island tends to have a lot of murders in here, and they insinuated that the victim of the murder was killed in a street known for its male prostitution activity. The show really emphasized the male prostitution.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Really?
the story.
Oh my god.
Isn't Puerto Rico really against like homosexual marriage? I'm not entirely sure of their politics.
Well, the Puerto Rican populace is a little divided right now. You have the old guard that is very conservative socially and doesn't like the idea of gay marriage, and you have the progressive youth that's all for gay marriage or doesn't give a crap.
I think
Anyway.
I think that's like the rest of the world besides
yeah, I
Canada.
think that's in the rest of the world.
Everywhere.
Yeah, anyway, this story is very important. It ties to GamerGate, I promise.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
anyway, within a day of that broadcast, Puerto Ricans began a boycott
Of
we
the
began
show.
of the show. Now,
Okay.
this show, you can underestimate its clout. This was the #1 show on Puerto Rican television. This
Jeez.
was
Wow.
the show. Practically everyone, 6 p.m. every day, tuned into the show. And we began a boycott against it. And
What
the
happened?
people, because we were very tired of La Comai's homophobic attitude.
That's why I was asking, yeah.
Oh yeah. They are shoving an ideology. They
Yeah.
don't do it directly, but they do it, and people notice. They are not stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, we began a boycott, and within a month, a lot of change happened. A lot of companies pulled their advertisement from the show, and the show was no longer being. The networks declared that the show will no longer be broadcast live. It would be pre-taped and then broadcast censored. And the guy who ran that show decided to quit instead of being censored. And so the show was canceled in 1 month. That show, the biggest show on Puerto Rican television, was canceled thanks to a boycott. And we GamerGaters can learn from that. You know?
Yeah, but we have been running 3 months, almost 3 months. And, oh my god. And I am gonna be honest with you guys. I am astonished that we have lasted this long.
Yeah.
I'm actually
3 months of internet time is insane, too.
I mean, in my country, there are a lot of strikes. People who refuse to do their work. Yeah, and the government must respond to that. But usually, what happens is that the people on the strike eventually starve because they run out of money, or the government ends up giving them a bullshit solution.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, I know, but this is it. GamerGate, it's kind of special because we have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
These people need us. We don't need them.
Yeah.
Well, bringing up that point about the television show, there was a journalist. For God's sakes, I can't. I mean, I could have told you his name yesterday because I had it memorized pretty much. But he was regarded as the best journalist that the world has ever. Well, not the world, but at least the United States has ever seen. And what happened is our current president, I can't remember him either, he was essentially, it was during the Cold War, and he was essentially using the media and using Congress to essentially dictate a witch hunt against communists. And he...
Whoa.
You know
I
what
know
I'm
that.
talking about. Okay.
Yeah, about McCarthyism.
Exactly, yeah. So here's the thing. He was able to take out... By that journalist doing that, he was able to take out a government agency essentially, and it was the presidency nonetheless. The problem with our movement and the problem that we have is not just journalists, but the voices that the journalists support are United States citizens who have the freedom of speech. So it's really hard to kind of pinpoint where we need to attack here, because even if we get rid of Gawker and even its fellow like Kotaku and everything, those people, and a lot of tweets will show you this, a lot of these people are just, they're in it for the money, for the quick buck, quick clickbait and whatnot. And even if we get rid of these websites, I feel like that's still not going to solve the majority of the issues that we have. It'll bring justice, and I say justice in a very stern way, but it's not really justice, but it brings responsibility to those who obviously slandered and it did something unprofessionally. I mean, I don't want to use the word unethical because morality is a very lucid thing, but at the same time, it was wrong because they're attacking an entire reader base about a subject that they really don't have any power over. Like, and when it comes down to it, they're angry at the developers because they're streamlining the same type of games and everyone's getting bored of it. But everyone agrees with that. Everyone's tired of the Call of Duty franchise. They want something refreshing. And when Anita Sarkeesian actually did her first video, I was in support of it. I thought she did a lot of reaching throughout the video, but I want, for one, support a more diverse type of gaming industry. And I feel like a lot of people did, but then she got a lot of flack because she was insulting a lot of games that in the wrong context, and it just felt like a reach. And then obviously the drama with the money and everything. But that's why I'm kind of on the fence with Anita, because you can tell a lot of it is publicity. But when she was on the Colbert Report, I'd bring it up again, but when she was on it, she did have a point that kind of resided to me as genuine. She doesn't want games that are just, the basic thing that we've been dealing with for the last 20 years. You know, it's either we're saving someone or it's a shooter. I mean, or some type, or we're getting more into the film kind of stuff with the quick play action stuff. And I agree with that. I think we need to browse away from that. But at the same time, when she's talking about like toxic masculinity, and I got a lecture about that, let me tell you, because apparently toxic masculinity doesn't mean anything towards males. I don't know. I don't do gender stuff. Yeah, it's about, you know, the attitude that determines what, you know, how manly you are. Therefore, but you know, when it gets down to it, the science is that there's testosterone, so therefore men can be more prone to violence. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But you know, it's also a mental health thing. But you know, to me, I feel like she does have a genuine point, but she's like throwing it through the goddamn mud over, you know, 2 minutes of fame. That's essentially what she's doing. Brianna Wu, though, she
Oh my God, Brianna. Oh my God.
On my nerves. Okay, this is a woman that came out of nowhere, you know, and then is essentially saying that she's the center of attention. And you know what bothered me the most about her is when she was on that CNN interview, you could see the insecurity like soaking off her when the first point that she made was, I'm a software engineer. I didn't have to do this. I chose it because I'm the hero of gamers. That that rustled my jimmies, guys. That rustled my jimmies.
If I may say a few words. If I may say a few
words. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, you know, I feel a lot of pity towards Brianna Wu. Because, you know, think about it. Here's a woman, and I'm aware she's transsexual, but let's call her a woman because that's what she wants.
Is that true? Was
She
that true?
is? Oh my God, I didn't know.
Apparently,
Yeah.
it's Brian Wu or something like that.
I mean,
Oh my
look,
God.
look, you know.
I really hope you guys didn't fap to her.
No. I knew
The
she
bridges
looked
of our
like a man.
generation.
I have to Mercedes Carrera, so no.
Like, I knew she looked like a man. I just didn't want to say it because it looked sexist. Oh, you look like a man. I can't take your opinion seriously. No, you just look like a man. I'm sorry. Well, now I know why.
Anyway, you know, I feel very, very sorry for Brianna Wu because she has no claim to fame except GamerGate. She'll never be recognized for anything she has ever done except her participation in the anti-GamerGate movement.
She's written for Polygon before.
Yeah, but who recognized her?
I mean, I tried to find her game today, and I couldn't. I mean, just to find the name of her game, it's almost impossible.
You know, I saw gameplay of that game.
It's shit.
And I can tell you guys right now, there is a good reason why you haven't heard of Brianna Wu before GamerGate.
May I say something of that literally who's?
Go on.
Sure.
First with Anita. When I first saw her videos, I thought that she made a lot of good points, but the way she fundamented those points were complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you guys remember her rant of Hitman?
That was completely wrong.
Yeah, and I was, oh my God. So to me, if you don't base your argument on something solid, then the argument is invalid.
Yeah.
Straight away.
No, don't get the wrong idea. I completely agree with you. That's what I meant by, you know, she was reaching with all of her arguments. She was overreaching it, and she was just taking everything out of fucking context. But
I remember her saying that Shin Megami Tensei was sexist, but she didn't like add any points to that. She just
nitpicks, and she doesn't really says anything.
Yeah.
She just points out anything that she believes that it's sexist, but she doesn't give a solution. I mean, she cannot be considered even a critic Because
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, what's her solution to anything? She just
She
complains.
did.
You know what
She
that's
did come
called?
up
That's
with a
called
video game
whining.
idea. It was
the
terrible.
solution is to support her Patreon.
Well, like what's her? One female that I'm glad that came out of this was Liana Kay. I can't
Oh my
remember.
god,
Actually.
Yes.
I
Oh
love
man, I love Liana K. Man, I love
I
that.
love that
Her
girl.
David Pacman interview was like
And to
one of the most
consider that
nuanced things ever.
Oh,
To
she was so
consider-
good on Pac-Man.
to consider that she was neutral at first, and we were actually able to turn her around.
Yeah.
Actually, at first Liana K was, while neutral, she was kind of sliding towards the anti-GamerGate side.
Yes, I think that's amazing of us. I mean, we really did a good job with Liana.
But, if I may say something,
But
we really screwed the pooch with Felicia Day.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
should have
that
just
was
left that
awesome.
alone.
That
Oh,
wasn't us. That was just some idiot
Yeah.
in the comments just
I mean-
googled her name and put the details for her talent agency in. That's
And-
all that happened.
And the thing is, the most ironic thing of all things is that the person who posed those details is openly anti-GamerGate.
No,
His
he's
was it who
username,
posted it?
openly an asshole. That's what he is.
his tweet handle is a man in black. I
Oh,
know.
that bastard.
I've argued with him a couple times, and he ended up he never blocked me. I'll give him credit for that, but he's always in this vicious circle.
He's
And
an
I-
obvious GNAA troll. That's it.
And we are not blamed for the things that our opposition do. Oh my God.
That's another thing that gets me is, I understand the point of us doing the harassment patrol, but we should really not be taking responsibility for that. It's just a fucking straw man for these idiots. It really is.
I must admit that at first I was in the harassment patrol, but I eventually had to quit because of the bullshit attitude that Brianna and Sarkisian have. And I was telling myself, I am protecting this woman. I am doing something nice to them. And this is how they respond to me. And that got me, man. That got me.
if I may add to that, the entire harassment patrol thing, it's really kind of like wiping away the foam from a rabid dog's mouth. You can. It looks like we're doing something, but even if one piece of harassment escapes from us, the anti-GamerGaters are gonna use that one to paint the whole of us.
Yeah, but at the same time, if we never did it, and that's why I'm on the fence about it, where would they be right now? They'd be having thousands of examples to throw in our face, And, it's really not our responsibility because we're not the ones doing it. I certainly haven't harassed anyone. I have no reason to. The only people I guess, quote-unquote, harass are, illogical fallacy fuckers that are just like, oh, well, you guys are just a harassment campaign. I read it on the New York Times. It's like, okay, that's great.
Do you realize that we're against the media?
Yeah, well, not entirely. They're kind of neutral.
No. That will be what I say to that person. Do you realize that we are against the media, and you are basing your perspective of us on what the media says?
Yeah. Kotaku says you're an asshole. The source is Kotaku. Literally that in a nutshell.
The other thing that I got with Anita, and in extension with Macintosh, is recently I have seen a lot of misandry coming from them.
A little.
A little, man.
To brand masculinity as toxic, and I was, oh my God. Jeez.
Remember what the literally who's were saying about that murder that happened recently?
Yeah.
The one where somebody posted it to be?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The League of Legends developer?
Huh? No, no, no.
No, no.
What?
You're talking about
There
the
was a case
shooting, and then she
recently.
called it toxic masculinity, right?
Oh
No,
yeah,
not
yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
Not
no.
that one. Not that one.
Oh, I'm
What
sorry.
happened
There's so
was,
many to list.
Yeah.
yeah.
There
What
was
You
happened
know,
another
was
one
there
with
was a recent
4chan.
case
man,
where
I really, really
yeah,
hate that term, toxic masculinity.
it's terrible.
You
But
know,
anyways, hmm?
you know who used that term? A little guy called
Silly.
Dr. Nerdlove. You know, if I may say something about GamerGate,
Yeah.
GamerGate has really knocked out the pedestal for a lot of people for me, and one of those people was Dr. Nerdlove. You
Isn't that the
know,
Kotaku thing?
no. This is another guy, though I strongly think that he has ties to Kotaku. See, Doc Nerdlove, he was a blogger he is a blogger who gives love advice to nerds and geeks like us.
Really? That
Oh yeah,
exists?
he writes for
Oh my
Kotaku
god.
because there was one point where I used to read that shitty site and his stuff does appear there pretty
Yeah,
often. He's a regular contributor.
damn, damn. And I
Yeah.
thought, he was one of us. You know, he was trying to help us get the girl, but he's not.
Nope.
He's
And
not.
that,
He just,
the best thing you can do to get a girl is to be yourself.
Pretty
exactly.
much. Pretty
And
much.
share that with the world, and eventually you're gonna find a person who finds that attractive or something
Yeah.
else.
And,
That
and
is
what Dr. Nerdlove essentially said was, "Who you are is not good enough. Reinvent yourself."
Well, that's just
Oh
good
god, the
advice.
insecurity in that. Jesus.
no
Yeah,
wonder why nerds are so insecure. Damn it!
yeah. If the guy who's telling us he wants to help us is saying that, no wonder we're so insecure.
Speaking of people who wants to help us but really not, what do you think of Kelly?
Uh,
Kelly
who?
Mackenzie,
I
the politician, yeah?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
she's just a troll. She's just a troll.
Ah.
She's not trying to help. She's something awful troll.
I
yeah.
haven't seen anything where she's openly attacked. I've seen hypocritical statements, but that doesn't surprise me because Twitter feeds like that are normally handled by multiple people.
Yeah.
So, in my perspective, I'm just letting it ride out. I judge a person based on their actions, not their intentions. So if she does fuck us, whatever. We'll just throw her
Yeah.
under the bus just like the other idiots.
Well, did you see the video she did?
I did not.
What did
She
she
has
say?
done multiple videos.
Okay, the first one she did when she was talking about what Gamergate is, that was
Yeah.
literally her just reading from the Clickhole article, which is a sister site of The Onion. So it was satire.
Yeah, that was complete
Oh dear.
bullshit.
Yeah,
She did a second one that I thought it was really accurate in my opinion. But
Did
the
she
thing,
correct herself?
more or less, yes, in that video. But, and this is a big but. I was talking to the admins, and the other admins were really sure that she was a troll, and I was like, no, girls, no, guys, we have to give her a chance. She could really benefit us, whatever, blah blah blah. But what she has said recently, I mean, her supporters cannot defend her right now. She actually considers an article that Damon Schubert posted today called "The Worst Week of Gamergate,"
Mm-hmm.
when he basically points out how the celebrities who support us have quit it, like King of Paul and whatnot.
King of Pole really isn't a celebrity. I don't consider him one, at least.
Yeah,
He's just a loud
pretty
voice.
sure about
He's
that.
fun to
Yeah,
listen
yeah.
to, but that's it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you right now, I supported Kelly for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought she could be like some kind of light in the media because politicians have a lot of pull in that.
She
But
could have been based.
yeah, she
I
could
feel
have.
like I feel like the problem here is she has two people donating to her, and it's kind of flip flopping of who's giving her more money, which is influencing her opinion because that's normally how politics works.
But right now, what I have seen of her in her Twitter, I mean, is complete bullshit. I am ashamed. I supported Kelly in the past.
Well, what when you say support, what do you mean by support? You
I I,
tweeted.
wa- I went on Twitter and said something like, "Guys, please don't harass her. We gotta give her
Oh
a
yeah, I
chance."
saw that post, man. I saw that post.
This is how I look at it. Okay, as I said, I don't, and obviously I haven't caught up with her at all. I just see what what shows up on my Twitter feed like twice a day. But even if that's the case, then the best thing to do is just ignore her. If she wants to like sprout out, GamerGate's awesome, and then turn around and say that, well, don't give her the attention. And I'm not saying that as a diss against you or anybody here. I'm saying that in terms of that's the solution, and I feel like a lot of people just don't need to sit there and attack her because it just gives her an excuse to make comments like, oh, all Gamergate hates me now. They're obviously a harassment campaign. And
Guys, an advice is to treat Kelly as another Who. Kelly has become another Who.
God, it sounds like we're playing Dr. Zeus here.
Yeah, I know.
We've
It's
got
horrible.
four of them now, then.
Basically, Kelly's literally who for, right?
Yeah.
We actually, I invited Kelly into the 2014 group.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
hours before her Twitter exploded, and because she openly described Gamergate as an uneducated bunch of harassers, and I was like,
God,
oh
yeah.
my god. And the admins came and we said, let's give her a chance to clear things out. Do you remember that post? We called her up to explain everything, but she evaded all the questions. She didn't say anything. And eventually we had to delete that post because it was focusing the conversation elsewhere.
But we shouldn't be worried too much because you know who we still have. You know who's still on our side.
Adam Baldwin.
Cannon.
Aside from Adam Wall, we have the big guns, man. We have the big guns, and her name is Based Mom.
Oh,
True.
Well,
she's the best.
the problem with her is that
I wish she adopted me. I wish she adopted me.
the problem with her, not personally, but just in a political view, is she has a history of being regarded as against feminism, and they're trying to bring that up. That doesn't make sense to me personally. I mean, it sounds like she's just trying to put logic in front of
Yeah,
feelings.
that's just stupid.
So
That's really dumb. I have to say.
I think she's even first wave feminist or second wave. So
Second wave.
Second.
She described
Yes,
herself
she's
as
second
second wave. Second wave.
So in terms of to put it in an understanding, it's like first gen Nintendo criticizing second gen Nintendo. That's how they
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. That
So-
really is. That really is.
She's an asset because she brings up the points, but the strongest thing we have about Gamergate, and I did correct someone on this recently, is the fact that our emails are merely like our campaigns. They're anonymous, and they give kind of an ambiguous scope of how to go about it. But it doesn't tell you exactly how to format it. It doesn't tell you what issues to bring up. It says bring up your personal issues. So now you have these people that have reflected incentive to send emails to these people, to the ad campaigns, and that's what's killing them. And that's what's cutting them off at the knees because we have incentive.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to bring up a topic. I don't know if you guys have really heard about this. But what did you think about the meltdown of King of Pole?
So what now?
Oh my God, King of Pop situation. King of Pop situation.
To me, I think he was
can
just
you guys,
like.
can you give me like the rundown timeline on that? Because I completely missed that.
Oh my God,
It was
that was
crazy.
really big, man.
Like this is how I look at it. If I see something like drama oriented and it's with someone personal, I just avoid it. I just say fuck it. I'm not getting knowing
Don't
the
do
shit.
it, man. Don't do it. Just read about it. Read about it. Read about it. Inform yourself.
Okay,
If
now
you
read
want-
about it to me.
I can give a quick summary if you want.
Yeah, please. And I mean, if you guys don't want to listen to it, you can just post it. Is there like a chat feature in here? Yes, there is.
No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
there is.
It's fine.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was on Friday when King of Pole had some images and stuff like that about Monday Mats and stuff he said, and King of Pole has been under a lot of pressure, and I think he just shipped out.
But the issue goes before that.
Yeah, I
Nick
know.
Denton thing.
It's about a post like a month ago, and he started accusing Monday Matt for stuff that was already solved with Roguestar, and I just think that he's had a lot of problem with people pushing from GamerGate and from the anti-GamerGate side because he's been doxxed and stuff like that.
Don't forget the Denton post, which he
that
lied.
was
Yeah, that too.
It's that King of Paul posted something, posted a Facebook post on Twitter of the Gawker CEO. I can't remember his name right
Nick
now.
Denton.
Well, I did see that, so that wasn't valid.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The thing is, everybody was freaking out that day because in that post, he was saying that he was going to hire infiltrators in order to cause inner fighting. So just the thought of that make everyone paranoid. Everyone, including myself, I have to admit. And the thing is that the next day, Hot Wheels came and eventually posted a conversation that he had with King of Pole when he admitted that he lied about his source, the source that gave him that post in order to protect a friend. So that made the whole thing invalid because because he claimed that the one who gave him that source was a prominent Kotaku journalist.
Steven
Steven
Totila.
Totila.
You know, that kind of made King of Pole just as bad as the journalists were fighting.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
To
this:
be
was it ever
honest-
confirmed who the source actually was, or did he?
It was no one. The email let no one.
It was literally no one. It was like the janitor
Okay.
of Kotaku.
So
It was-
he generated it. That's essentially what happened.
Well, Milo looked into it, and he traced back the email, and it went nowhere. It was someone just doing like a little program and putting in a fake email address.
Imagine that I posted something in the Facebook group saying that David Forensi is declaring physical war on Gamergate, and based on nothing.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I don't know how, because I did read his apology, and it just sounded like he was whining about his life and everything. And I was kind of like, that didn't really address anything.
That's pretty much what his apology was. It was
Yeah.
just- he's gone full Brianna Wu.
Yeah, I was okay. Well, now I understand, and it's a shame because I've been I follow Roguestar, and I think his stances are way too fucking aggressive.
Actually, I had a conversation with a Forbes journalist. It's not Eric, it's another one, who has always been a GG supporter, right? and he actually had to delete his Twitter account because he believed that the infiltrators will destroy his career if they find out.
Yeah.
We actually lost an important supporter that day, just because King of Paul lied.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked
You
up.
fucked up big time then.
That's sabotage, dude. Well, whatever.
Not only that, but loads of us were tweeting about the Denton post. So he completely screwed the credibility of a lot of people.
I couldn't sleep that day. I couldn't sleep. I was completely panicking. I thought that the infiltrators would dox me or hack my account or something else.
And everyone
You
were
know-
calling each other shells, and there was so much
Yeah.
infighting. It's insane.
This is why GamerGate needs to be leaderless.
Yeah, because we've
Definitely.
seen.
The moment we elect a leader, it's gonna happen one of two things. That leader is gonna betray us, and he's gonna use the movement to his own or her needs, or that leader will instantly blow up, and the media will destroy him, or even physically, he will be in physical threat. I mean, if Milo got a syringe, send it to his house, and King of Paul and Mike, the lawyer, the badass
Cernovich.
lawyer,
Cernovich, yeah.
Cernovich, got sent a knife to their house. Imagine what will happen to our leader.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now, we gotta say, we're in a bit of a catch-22. Our opponents are making fun of us because we're leaderless, and they're pointing that as a weakness, but if we elect a leader, that will be our weakness.
Exactly. If that leader gets, that leader has to be a human, and that human had a past and has his weaknesses,
Yeah.
and they will exploit them. They will undone that person.
Right now, we're fighting. Well, this is a propaganda war.
It's not a propaganda war. It's a consumer revolt versus a bunch of elitists.
Well, there's more. Well, personally, I see
It's-
GamerGate as a bit more than that.
Guys, don't worry about what the media says about us. It will eventually pass away.
No, the thing is actually, every time the media slanders us, we get stronger. If you notice,
Indeed.
you'll have people who look at all this media smearing and wait, is this really the right thing that's going on? And they'll do their own research, and what will happen is we'll have one more person who actually does their research, who doesn't listen and believe, but trusts and verify, and he'll join in. I mean, consider that based Pacman came in after all that media slander. I'm pretty sure he wanted to find out what was really going on behind all of that. So he's not a supporter, but he's helped us a lot.
And don't forget, every time the media gives us an equal platform to the anti-GamerGate side, we always come out on top. Anyone
Yes.
notice that?
The
For
comment?
example-
Well, it depends on what page you are.
Because remember that time there were two sides of the GamerGate
Oh, the
controversy.
Mangatron debate.
Yeah, God, that looked great for us.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Oh.
really owned them there.
What actually worries me is the Twitter situation. If you check that Topsy website,
The one now?
the Topsy website that tracks a hashtag, the graph, the graph of cats, if you say so. We are actually pretty low considering our previous success.
Well, I'm guessing it's because there hasn't been anything like big happening recently, except for BlizzCon, I guess.
I mean, no, Gawker lost 2 advertisers this week only.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh
week.
yeah.
I mean, and it's supposed to be the worst week of GamerGate, according to Damon Schubert. We are actually pretty strong on sending mails, but I don't know that if the Twitter things ends, I think we will lose a lot of communication between us.
Has that Topsy thing actually, like, how often does it update? Because it is the weekend, so I feel like we're going to see a huge spike come Monday.
Really? I really don't know. I am really new in the Twitter thing.
I don't even use Twitter.
I actually opened up my account just because of GamerGate, and my account is only dedicated to GamerGate.
My Twitter was made for One Piece figures.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
use my Twitter to like follow bands and stuff, but when GamerGate happened, boom, Twitter all the time.
I don't use Twitter.
That is where I get all the information I get. Have you seen all the shit I post in Facebook?
Well, I just joined.
I mean, I am probably the most active admin there, or something like that. No, don't quote me on that. Elizabeth will kick my ass if she finds out.
Too late, I already Twittered it. No, I'm kidding.
What else is there to talk about?
Did we just talk about BlizzCon yet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I must admit I was really worried at first, but when I reread the thing, I said, oh, okay. Blizzard saying they are anti-harassment is saying nothing. Everybody is anti-harassment.
It's just the Dorito Pope trying to mess with us.
I know, like, everyone's trying to give that guy, like, some type of credence, and he's like one of the most, prominent, what's the word, corrupt video game journalists since, like, what, 2006? And they're just like, oh, this guy said it, therefore it's right. Okay, well, where were you guys in 2006 when we're burying him alive?
I'm pretty sure the whole, like, giving him credit and whatever. I think initially we've been doing that ironically with the whole, but then people started believing it.
Yeah, I mean, no, the fact that anti-GG uses him as a source is in itself just like, it's just like they're not knowing that they're cutting themselves in the gut. It's just like, what?
Hold on. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just want to welcome Ultima to the group.
Stop.
Hello.
Hello, is this working?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's working.
Yes.
All right. So it sounds like I just walked in on Dorito Pope.
Yes.
We're talking about how he tried to spin, what's his name, that Blizzard guy's statement.
Lizard guy, a member of the Lizard crew or whatever they.
Mike Mohelis or something like that. CEO of Blizzard.
Blizzard. I thought you said lizard.
My bad.
Well, didn't he try to go like, well, that was about Gamergate, and the guy just kind of stared at him awkwardly? Isn't that what happened?
Pretty much. The guy was smiling, and then he goes, and thank you for speaking out against Gamergate. And the guy's smile just freezes, and he's glaring at him.
I think Georgina wrote an article about that, complaining about how Dorito Pope tried to spin it and mentioning exactly that that smile, that dissatisfaction.
Yeah, because, it's funny because if they were genuinely against Gamergate, like this guy was implying, there wouldn't be a 27-page active thread on their goddamn forums. Please apply common sense here, people.
And he's the CEO of
that
Blizzard.
thread was great.
Yeah. If he wants to say Gamergate, he's just going to say Gamergate.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not intimidating the CEO of Blizzard.
I know, this isn't like the owner of Nexon over here. This is the guy that, like, started freaking MMOs. God, that was hilarious.
Total Biscuit has always defended the fact that he didn't specifically refer to GamerGate.
True. That guy's too smart for his own good.
I mean, Total Biscuit is my hero, even before GamerGate.
Yeah.
That dude, man, like, remember his David Pacman interview? I think that was the best out of all the Pacmans.
Yeah.
I
I
still like the
actually-
Arthur Chew one.
Oh yeah, that was
The
awesome.
Chew Train was beautiful.
If
No,
I've
I
learned
actually-
something from GamerGate, never idealize anyone.
Yeah.
Well, I actually
You're
followed David Pacman before all this because I listen to the Young Turks. I don't agree with everything
So
they
does
say.
mean that I cannot watch the Marcellus Carreras porn anymore?
No, what you're gonna have to do is watch the IA and Milo fanfic over and over again.
Speaking of fanfics, you guys heard about that one apparent fanfic that Sarkeesian ended up supporting, which was her killing the guy who made Duke Nukem or something?
Yeah, I read it.
Wait, what?
I'm a
Really?
fan of it.
Oh
I
my
read that
God.
fanfic, and I can attest that it does indeed exist.
Jesus Christ! What a hateful
I-
woman!
I-
And she publicly supported the thing. That's
Yeah.
like
What?
advocating violence.
Yeah,
It's
she
not.
did.
It's not harassment. It's not harassment unless I receive it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a double standard. While if a male were to do like a fanfic where, like, say they kill Anita Sarkeesian in the fanfic, oh no, harassment.
Punch Anita
Well,
Sarkeesian in the
actually-
face.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the game of beating up Anita? She is
Yeah.
still bitch about that.
But yeah, if we were to make some sort of fanfic where we harm her, it's big deal. But say it's a fanfic where a female gets to kill some sort of game developer or something, or even a basement-dwelling troll, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, remember the game where Sarkeesian was get beat up or something, Flash game or something. That was like a big deal.
She still
Yeah.
bitch about that. She still refers to that.
And you know
Still
They're
that
trying to get rid of the damsel in distress. She's ironically become the biggest damsel
Yep.
in distress in video games.
Yes, she relies on the
Uh,
media to save her from the hungry swarms of angry people disappointed with the fact that she's essentially lying through her teeth and claiming misogyny and hatred against women where it's non-existent.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Another thing, guys, about the BlizzCon thing is that what I have seen of the World of Warcraft forums is that they are very pro GG.
Definitely.
Oh
I have seen a lot of good things coming from that forum.
Like, I was on 8chan just last night, and there was a thread about that forum thread, and when it all happened, we started having a lot of people coming in onto the 8chan forum and like getting educated on all stuff. So we've managed to red pill them pretty well. There's a lot of support because what's the biggest stereotype of a straight white gamer? A straight white gamer, a guy who plays World of Warcraft and has
He's
chips all over
fat,
his keyboard.
ugly, and antisocial.
Pretty much. So they know how we feel.
I'll be
don't see-
honest with you guys. I've never played World of Warcraft before.
I haven't
Well, I've only played it once either. My MMO is Ragnarok.
I
don't-
don't play MMOs. I can't physically play MMOs because if I ever get to those games, I will broke and I wouldn't have any money left.
I don't
I
see-
used to play Maple Story. I used
I
to
don't
play
see-
Maple Story.
Oh, Maple
Oh,
Story.
who said
has
that?
been
Who
there.
said that? Who said
I
Maple
did.
Story?
I did.
I used
don't-
to play. We were all masochists at one point.
I don't see any MMOs on my computer unless you call Mist Online Uru one. And is that Doritos? Oh no, those are tortilla chips, not Doritos.
Oh, you're playing a Japanese game. You're clearly sexist.
Oh my God!
Best thing ever.
The poor
What are you-
Japanese.
What
I
do you
mean,
What's-
it's okay to complain that Western culture is sexist from a Western perspective. But if you talk about Japanese, that is a completely different culture.
The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, like since I live here and all, when it comes to the Japanese indie scene, it's technically the most inclusive thing. Do you guys know what otome games are?
Yeah, I do. Otome.
Yeah, uh-huh. Like for
Baby
those who don't,
games.
they're basically the visual novels for girls made by
Oh
women.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, what the media doesn't realize is that that's there too, and that's really a big thing.
If you consider that Bayonetta was created by a woman, it actually
Yeah.
changed the entire argument.
It
No, women
nullifies
can be
Fucking
sexist
badass
too.
shit.
the
Let's
fact that
let's not forget
Bayonetta
what.
was designed by a woman completely invalidates the argument that Bayonetta is simply a sex fantasy for men.
Oh, it's internal misogyny.
I actually agree with a post on Twitter that said that Bayonetta is a celebration of femininity.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
totally.
I think I hear that there's actually. I think they're called sex positive feminists, or
Yeah,
essentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they praise Bayonetta. I think they say, "Oh, Bayonetta is a
is
hero." I mean, she's a
I'll
is
say
that
symbol
this.
of sexuality and freedom.
Mhm.
I'll say
feminism
this.
is divided into a lot of branch. From what I
Yeah.
gather, there is first wave feminism, second wave, and third wave. But there is also a different classification that is sex positive and sex negative,
Oh yeah,
There's
truly.
one.
and
Sounds like
they cannot coexist with each other.
sounds like
Neither
sex.
of
Sounds like
there's
sex negative ones don't want any sex at all.
yeah.
That's what they want. The sex negative feminists do not want to recognize the sexuality of either the female nor the male. They want to
What?
delete it.
That sounds
And
One
like
of the.
that sounds like human extinction desires.
Yeah.
let's
One
Yeah.
of
be
the
honest.
literally
Well,
who
There is
actually
considering all the
celebrates Bayonetta.
anti-gamergates with genocide wishes, that doesn't seem too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god,
there
it's like a
is
second PETA.
You know, a lot of people accuse Anita Sarkeesian of being sex negative.
she
I
is she
Yeah.
Pretty
is.
much.
I think Sarkeesian might just be I think she might either A, be a puppet for McIntosh, who is essentially
The
Thompson
biggest.
2.0,
Yeah.
or she's just trying to profiteer no matter how contradictory she is to get all the monies and attentions.
You know, there.
Both of them.
Ultima, I think you are correct because Anita cannot handle criticism. She can't.
No, she cannot. No, she
Macintosh,
cannot.
on the other hand, is pretty open to all the harassment quotation marks that he receives.
I'm now imagining what if someone goes up to McIntosh and says, "Check your privilege, white man."
You know, as a Latino, I think I can tell him that.
Just
I am literally going to do that.
Just-
Yeah, man.
Looks
Just-
like we're all going
We're
to
gonna
exo
do
so
that.
fast
We're
when it
gonna-
happens
We're
again.
gonna tell Macintosh, check your privilege, Whitey.
Just like, hey, who are you talking
God,
about
please,
feminism?
let's
You're a
do
white
it, let's do
cisgender
it.
male. Check your privilege, white cisgender male. You can't be
Yeah.
talking about feminism.
Yeah, man. Let's do that. Let's do that.
And then we're all going to be rounded up and thrown in their secret underground torture chambers.
Yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the consequences of. I know that we talked about this before, but there was one thing that I didn't say is that there is a very big consequence in letting SMGs inside our community because
What's an SMG?
from what I have seen, they want to destroy meritocracy. They want to gain things just because they are women. They don't
Yeah.
want to earn everything with sweat and blood.
Yeah. You know the great thing about gaming?
They're special snowflakes.
When it comes to genders, man, the great thing about gaming when it comes to the genders, you pick up that controller, you get online or offline. It doesn't matter if you have a peepee or a vagina. What matters is your skills, man.
Your
Skills.
skills.
This is actually a good time to actually bring up an actual feminist problem in the gaming community because there are problems with the gender communication there. Because I was talking to a friend and she happens to be a longtime gamer and she plays Magic and everything. She's actually very attractive, so she does go through all the rings. But one thing that she told me that really bothers her, and I've noticed it myself, is a girl that is competitive can never win. Because if they win, they're most likely talked down to as, oh man, I just lost to a girl, that sucks. Or, if they lose, oh, you did pretty good for a girl. So there are sexism issues, but I don't feel like Anita and Brianna or any of these people have brought up a great opportunity in terms of their platform to bring those issues up, but they're attacking something that is probably the least misogynist type issue with the gaming community. What they're bringing up is something against the developers. And that's a whole other ballpark. And if you think that the consumers have power over the developers, you can go ahead and say hi to the Zims Online Only, the Diablo 3 fiasco. And you can talk to DLC because I guarantee you almost every other gamer is going to tell you, fuck that noise.
Guys, I am going to reveal something to you. Is that I don't know if you don't know. I have mentioned it in the Facebook group, but I am disabled. I am disabled. I cannot move my right arm correctly. I literally have to play with one arm.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
No, don't worry about it. And every time I play competitively and people kind of know who I am, I say, yeah, you just lost to a handicap. How does that make you feel, idiot?
Since you talked about disability, I wanted to bring this up. Over on another stream, I think it was 1 or 2 days ago, there was this other guy, they call him Blind Ryan now, he can't see in one eye. And what he was saying was the problem with disability is not wanting to be represented, but not being able to play the games. So a bunch of us started toying with the idea of having a modder base or a repository to have support accessories or yada yada for people who have trouble playing video games because of their disabilities. And we came up with Gamers Enabled. There's a thread on Kotaku in Action where we're having a Steam curator group for games that have modes like colorblind mode and things like that. And yeah, it came out of a GG stream, so I wanted to plug that for a bit.
Yeah,
that actually came out of GG because I knew about that group, but I didn't know its origins were because of GG.
Yeah, it was just a GG stream, and somebody suggested the idea. We rolled the ball, and I think I got Roguestar in, and he was really interested in the idea too. So yeah.
Guys, before I forgot, there is kind of a promotion in the group. If you didn't know, if you post a screenshot of a mail that you sent, you get a chance to win a free Steam game.
Sweet. Wait, what?
Sweet. Fortunately, I can't take any screenshots, so I'm gonna have to drop out of that race.
Wait, what are we sending screenshots to?
Of the mails that you send to sponsors. You can actually take a picture with a camera. It doesn't have to be a screenshot per se.
Right. No, doesn't that sound a little bit like bribery?
Yeah, but we just wanted to give you an incentive to do the right thing. I know.
If I may say something here.
Okay.
This the thing we're doing with the emails. I know your heart's in the right place, and I congratulate you for giving us some incentive. But really, we GamerGaters have to send these emails regardless. We should be seeing this emailing campaign some not as something we could do, but something we should do, an obligation.
I completely agree with you. But we just wanted to give you, I don't know, we
An
just wanted to
incentive.
give you something.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's sort of like a thank you for.
yeah, exactly. Is that morale right now in the group is pretty erratic. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, I'm tired. I'm taking a break," and I also get people who say, "Yay, we're winning." So it's kind of our effort to keep you going.
You know why people are feeling tired? We've been at this since August.
Yeah, I know.
That's forever.
And it's fucking November already.
Well, don't make it sound like we haven't done anything either, because we've done a fuck ton. Considering,
True.
we started as a voiceless group that was essentially slandered and attacked based on priorities that we had no control over. And then when we questioned based off someone's, unfortunate events, when we questioned on the ethical integrity, all we did was get yelled and screamed at and talked down to. And from going from that to being someone that's been talked about for 3 months and making it to mainstream media, that's a big deal. Even if mainstream media doesn't have a great outlook on us, you can tell. Like, most of them did secondary interviews. They pulled back most of their comments regarding GamerGate being equivalent to harassers, but they backed off. But the mainstream media, especially on the leftist side, they're going to focus on the females and the harassment. But the fact that they've taken away that equalizer is a huge step.
Yep. Hey, if I may ask you guys something, this whole the spark that lit this fire has been Zoe Quinn.
I have to disagree with that. I think the point of no return were the gamers are dead articles.
Yeah,
Everyone's.
but really,
I mean, the soy incident was kind of was kind of a pre-sequel, something that predated.
the thing I wanted to say was that GamerGate is kind of like this huge bonfire. This huge bonfire that was kept getting fed Kindle after Kindle throughout the years, from the Doritos controversy, the Mighty Number 9 controversy, the Samantha Allen giant bomb thing, and really
Mass Effect too.
and that too. And really, what happened was, the way I see it, the Zoe post was kind of just like this teeny tiny little spark, the tiniest little ember that had the misfortune of falling into a pit that was loaded with oil. Anyway, the thing I wanted to ask is, has anyone played Depression Quest?
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually
Oh,
did.
God.
I actually did before this whole thing started.
Yeah, me too. What do you think of it?
It was so boring.
Yeah.
My
I can't believe I had a
conclusion
game
is
that
that
was worse than Gone Home.
my conclusion was that it was an interesting concept to base a game around, but the game itself is pretty bad.
Hey, if
Really
you guys
bad.
want to play a game that puts depression as its main theme, don't play Depression Quest. There's another game. It's called The Crooked Man. It's a freeware game made by Uri. She's one of the best game developers in the freeware scene. Her games are excellent. Anyway, The Crooked Man really paints an awesome picture of depression.
Did you sleep with that developer? Is that why you're advertising it?
No, I don't even know what she looks like, man.
Chill,
I don't even know what she looks like.
chill.
Yeah, I know.
I demand contact. Next.
But really, if you guys.
I demand ethics in the crooked man.
No.
Look. To be honest, I got two things to say about Zoe Quinn. Okay.
Yeah,
First
go on.
thing, she may have been the rabbit hole. I would not consider her the start of GamerGate. The reason I don't consider her the start of GamerGate is because all she did was verify that there was suspicious activity with collusion and conflicts of interest, and that led to an investigation not against Zoe Quinn, but about the relationships within that social circle. And then
Yeah.
transpired from us asking these CEOs, executives, these editors in chief, asking them about, hey, what about this, and this? We got responded with, go fuck yourself, and that's what started GamerGate. That's what
True.
fucking started it. And everyone likes to
100%
argue.
true.
And what everyone likes to argue is, well, you got linked to Adam Baldwin linked to a video about Zoe Quinn, in the Five Guys burger thing. But if you actually watch the video and listen to the dialogue, maybe I would say about 15% of that entire video had anything to do about Zoe Quinn at a moral standpoint. All it was factual evidence of what was actually presented to us and what kind of relationships and connections that these individuals all have with each other and why it's a big fucking deal. If the allegations were true. And Escapist is the one that really made the point. Most of the conversations that were being censored weren't about Zoe Quinn being a slut. It was being that there was conflicts of interest and we need to investigate this. That was all the conversation was about. So that's why I don't think Zoe Quinn was exactly the start of it. What was the second thing? I don't remember. Go ahead with whatever you guys want to talk about until I remember.
You know what I think about Zoe Quinn? You know what I think about Zoe Quinn? I look at her and I ask myself this one simple question. How horny were those guys, eh?
I don't
horrible. I mean, really. I don't think who is worse, Brianna or Zoe. I really don't know who is worst.
Well,
I
I actually showed up on another GamerGate stream, and I ended up mentioning that for some reason in that Pac-Man interview, Brianna Wu looked like a female version of the Penguin from Batman Returns.
Oh God, you're right.
She looked ratchet.
Oh my God,
Her hair
I
looked
love
like
you
it was
guys.
pasted on. It was like straw. But no,
I will
that
never
doesn't.
unsee that, man.
Oh man. Ah shit!
Oh my
I just
God.
had it.
So, have you guys heard about what was it? Supposedly, I think it's rumors that Zoe Quinn supported the doxing of some trans 16-year-old kid.
There is actually rumors that she actually knew about the harasser of Brianna Wu preemptively, but I don't know for sure.
I wouldn't put any weight on rumors.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The last rumor
Yeah,
we had
agree.
really screwed us up royally, so.
Yeah,
I guess it's not a rumor, but apparently someone legit mentioned some doxing of some kid who happened to be a 16-year-old trans kid. Though I think I heard the other side say, "Oh, that person was a troll, and they were just pretending to be female." From the other
what
side.
happened was it was the whole Wikipedia thing, I think, if I recall.
Yeah, it's that.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. No idea what to think about that. Yeah.
I just remember my second point. This is a big one for me too. If the roles were reversed, if the sex roles were reversed, that female who would have been Erin would have been regarded as a fucking hero for standing up to that type of harassment, that type of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Of having a boyfriend that would screw 5 girls.
No. I'm saying, if the girl stood up to, for example, if Erin was a girl and was talking about, all the psychological bullshit that this guy put her through, she would be regarded as a hero for sticking up for herself and challenging the abuser.
That
But
is true.
on the other hand, the resistance of the media wouldn't have led us to exploit all their corruption.
Well, no, I understand, but I'm just saying from the social justice warrior aspect, they would not have defended her. They would have or defended him, or rather, they would have defended Aaron. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what would have happened is we would have had the media on our side from the get-go.
Yeah.
Who needs
The
the
social
media
justice
anyway?
warriors have been trying to get him fired from his job. Hasn't they? Haven't they?
Yeah, Aaron is having a problem keeping his job.
Didn't they also
And
say that?
for God's sake.
Wasn't there also a social justice warrior who tried getting a war vet to end up losing their job simply because
Yeah.
she ended up saying she had post-traumatic stress disorder from
Her
Twitter?
name was
Ah.
Melody
From
something.
Twitter.
That reminds me, guys. There is actually a new feature on Twitter that women can now point her harassers. And
Only women?
yeah, all the women.
What the hell kind of...
It's a feature
Sexist.
designed
Oh my God.
from a feminist group.
Sexism.
Yeah, I know.
Males.
My
Misandry. That is
my
misandry.
suggestion is that keep away from the little hoos for a little while, because there is a chance that your account will get deleted instantly.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even. I've never even tweeted either of them, or all three of them, I suppose. I've never been bothered to, because there's nothing that would have accomplished anything, because anything they say would not change the fact that they're douchebags.
I actually have spoken a lot. I actually spoke a lot with the opposition. I mean, like Anita's supporters and whatnot, and there is really a very weird definition of harassment there. I mean, a guy accused me of harassing him because someone else was looking at his account for a tweet that he said earlier.
Huh.
You know,
Well,
Well,
yeah.
consider that they live in hug boxes. Everything is harassment to them. Everything is a needle for their little bubble.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's why we get branded in such active way.
Are you sure it's a
Yeah.
hug box? I thought it was a box of scorpions.
no, bro.
Those scorpions are hugging each other. That's all I'm gonna say.
How dare us to defend ourselves?
You know, I think that Juan here has really brought an interesting point. I think that's the real reason why they oppose us. It's because we gamers, our very existence, how varied we are a danger to their narrative. Their narrative is that women are what's the word I'm looking for?
Inferior.
Oppressed. Their narrative is that women are oppressed, minorities don't have a voice, and here is a community, a very vast community, where the opposite is true.
Yeah.
Yep, completely agree.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that Sargon of Akkad once mentioned it, is that this discussion is basically their feelings versus our facts.
Yeah, there's no doubt
What
about
they do
it.
best. Projection.
Mhm.
Well, it's funny because I'm actually friends with a radical feminist. I know, crazy. And we had a very heated discussion about this, and she was dead center arrow that these females are being harassed, and that gamers just need to get over it. And you know how we resolved it? We didn't delete each other. We just stopped talking about it. That was it.
Yeah.
We still talk about our stuff, and I feel like a lot of people have lost a lot of friends because of this, because there's such a radical ideology between what a normal person thinks and what a potential someone. How can I word this? Even though someone wasn't raped by definition, if they feel that they have, that they've created an illusion for themselves, so that we really do have to compensate and treat them as a rape victim. In a lot of
That is
cases,
basically listen and believe.
yeah,
That is
exactly.
it.
I
So,
want.
I don't hate the person. I don't like her ideologies, but it's just like my parents. I don't believe in a lot of their political opinions, but it doesn't mean I hate them, and that's how I've tried to view this. But when I'm reading these Twitter feeds about just, me as an individual, you're just a fucking loser sack of shit that needs to go kill himself, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, was that supposed to be my line?
You know, if I could say one thing to the anti-Gamergate side, to these social justice warriors, to these feminists, you know what I'd love to say to them? The same things my dad taught me. The spirit of democracy only works if you are willing to, at the very least, hear what the other side has to say. And that's not possible when you are on your bubble screaming so loud that no one else can talk. You gotta respect other people, even if they believe in something you don't.
That's reminding me of that one video of that one radical feminist with the extremely red hair and the fiery temper.
Yeah.
You know, the one
Oh.
that's like, I'm talking fuckface! And she's just
Yeah, I remember her.
Her name's Shanty Binks.
Alright,
Oh, her
but
name is Dumbass. That's what her name is.
The one with the glasses and
Yeah.
That's the one.
The
Yeah.
meme one, yeah.
she showed no
That is-
respect for the other side.
Yeah. That's
actually, guys, I am in college, and one of my favorite teachers is a radical feminist too.
Oh
And
god.
yes. I am not a feminist. Don't worry. But the thing is, I actually got into her class right after Anita Sarkeesian posted her first video.
Mhm.
And that video actually got to me a lot. I mean, I was actually beginning to hate women because I had the notion that all women wanted to erase all men. They wanted to emancipate all men. But that teacher showed me that even feminism has a lot of ways, has a lot of perspectives, and that's very GamerGate for me, because we are very inclusive. Inclusion is the very basis of GamerGate.
Yeah, I mean, Christina Hoff Summers, I mean, she's a great example of that because she doesn't share the ideologies that Femme Frequency does, or Nita Sarkeesian, or whatever. She shares she in fact argues the opposite, that males are actually under this attack more than females nowadays.
Mhm.
It's because I think that the society still believes at some point that we are still in the 60s, that women still don't have the right to vote and whatnot.
I can't speak for other countries, but in the United States, I mean, our government pretty much says that. We're still in the fucking 60s.
And that's bullshit. That's really bullshit.
We're not still in the 60s. If so, I'd end up being married to some woman who'd be cleaning up after me and giving me food. I'm not. That's not the case. I had to make my own food. I'm not married to anyone.
If this were the 60s, we wouldn't be in here discussing video games. We'd be out in the streets protesting Vietnam.
No,
Nah,
this is just magic.
I'd probably be smoking a doobie. I'd probably be a hippie.
Yeah, who wants to be a hippie?
I would probably be a goth, to be honest.
Those existed back then.
Nah, they kind of, I don't know if they did or not.
I'd still be a bureaucratic schmuck, just like I am now. You know what the funniest thing is to me is this is my favorite comeback to any anti-Gamergater. Use this wisely, okay? If someone comes to you who goes, "You guys sent death threats. You guys did this. You guys did that," I want you to explain to them that there's no evidence that Gamergate sent any of that. But there's evidence that an anti-GamerGate actually doxed a Department of Defense employee. What, are you
Wait,
a
what?
terrorist? Yeah, you didn't know about that?
Oh my God!
Seriously?
I need to learn about this.
No,
God damn.
that happened like 2 months ago.
It's not harassment if I do it.
No, but what I'm
Exactly.
saying is if you tell them that, then you follow up with their logic. Okay, well, your movement, and you represent the whole movement. Each individual represents that ideology. You support terrorism. You're attacking my Department of Defense. Why do you want ISIS here? Do you like beheading people? What's your problem? They never respond to that. They never respond. They just automatically block me.
The anti-GamerGate site has doxed quite a few people. You know that YouTuber Shuan Head?
Yeah.
I do not.
You got doxxed?
Yeah, she got doxed.
God damn.
Yeah, she got doxed. Actually, I have a list of people who've been doxed by the anti-GamerGate site. If I can just find it.
Would you be so kind to post it on Facebook, please?
Of course. Actually, I posted it before.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Huh.
Let me.
Yeah, find out who the DOD guy was, because I can't remember his name. I remember they got in tough shit, and the FBI's actually investigated the individual. Apparently, it was a 16-year-old.
Oh yeah, the guy that was in the Defense Department who got dogs.
DOD,
Was it?
man. Huh?
Is that a very important person who had a top secret clearance got dogs by the anti-GamerGate, and he
I
actually
remember.
got his doctors in jail.
Yeah.
I remember.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
This is reminding me. I just found an old quote that I checked out a while ago. It was pretty much the person goes by the name Queenie Martha or something on Twitter, and she says, "No, threats don't happen to GamerGate people. Hashtag not your shield." And she apparently got this quote by some guy who apparently goes by the name Juan Gonzalez. Take it with a grain of salt. Of course, it could probably be just some random troll pretending to be pro-feminism, but the person says, "You fucking slut, you should shut your whore damn mouth about GG. You're going against your goddamn kind. You're so fucking stupid. Know that we know where you live. Mexico," this stuff is crossed out because it's actually giving information. "I have your full address, and if you don't stop your BS, I will release it. Have fun with the cartels, you slut. I hope they rape you good so you know your fucking place. Then you can believe feminism now."
Oh man.
Damn, man. Dude, that's terrible.
Cartels are not people to joke about either, man. Those people are crazy.
Yes, combat misogyny with misogyny.
You want to hear a crazy story about the cartels? My friend that was in Mexico like for about 3 months. He was driving and he was at a red light, and the red light changed, and it changed to green, and he didn't move because he was looking on his phone. And there was a car behind him, or I'm sorry, it was reversed. There was a car in front of him. He was checking his phone. He didn't notice the light turn, but the car in front of him wasn't moving when it turned green. So it turned red again. Their guy comes out, throws $3,000 in cash in his car, and goes, "We had a bet and I lost. If you would have tried to go around me or honked your horn, we were going to kill you for fun."
Oh,
Jesus.
jeez.
That made me not want to go to Mexico.
I'm not going after what you said.
Don't go
for sure.
don't go to South America in general.
Yeah.
And I am a Latino.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about corruption, I mean, nothing against the people or the society or anything down there, but, that government is the epitome of corruption. I mean, Iran probably, looks up to that government.
Which one again?
Anything in South America, really, from my understanding at least.
Well, first, it depends on the country, because unfortunately, South America has a history of corrupt governments. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So does
I
Africa.
know South American government's corrupt. That's kind of.
Well, actually, now that you mention Africa, yeah, that also rings a couple bells of bad plays.
Let's just agree that every government is corrupt. Period.
That is
In
true.
their own way.
Yeah, I mean, like, even the
Can't
United
argue with
States
that.
government, I could agree that it's corrupt as balls, but I'd rather have what we have now rather than what's happening in, like, fucking Africa and shit, where there's, like, civil war still going on.
Every
All of it.
single year, a civil war occurs, practically.
Well, not all African countries. Okay,
Guys,
then.
guys, I wanted to ask you something. What do you think of the game developers that actually talk about GamerGate? Because
Like,
do you remember my story with Knights of the Old Republic and how that was a big change for me? BioWare has been really, really anti-GG, like really big time. Just
well,
mentioning that in the forums you get banned and the thread gets closed. And there is
the
actually,
BioWare of now and the BioWare of before are different. It's just David Gator like trying to be annoying. No.
but it breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart.
I can't say I've actually ever played a BioWare game, so I just.
Old
Like,
BioWare is amazing. Newer BioWare is newer BioWare.
Oh, by the way, guys, I just uploaded
Yeah.
the list I told you about to the Facebook page.
Ah, sweet, thanks.
great, thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I have an entire folder of pictures of screen caps of anti-gamer games.
Is that updated? Is that updated?
No, I'm afraid it's not. It's a little old.
You actually put it twice. I
Good.
have to delete one.
Do we have any idea who actually doxed who actually doxed Felicia Day? Because that was just sad.
Yes. I actually know because it was published on an article based on an anti-GG article. She was doxxed by in Twitter by a guy with the tweet handle a man in black.
I don't think he doxed her. I
No,
think what
no, no.
happened.
He just posted information that was publicly available. That is not doxing.
No, I understand. What happened was, or from what I read, like, because I was talking to the guy when it happened, he posted the information because it was, as you said, it's free for everyone. But there was someone that doxed her before he posted that information. Now I could be wrong on that, but that was what I was interpreting.
Angel, can I ask you something about the list?
Go on.
Why there is a picture of a hanged person in there?
What now?
There is a picture
hangman?
of a hangman, yes, next to Tetrat 20.
Hold on, let me check. Wait a minute, why am I checking the Facebook? I have it right here.
Oh my gosh.
Can one of you guys add me into the group? I'm still on pending.
Oh my god, what's your name? And I add you instantly. What's your name?
Lutfi. Goya Muhammad.
Lutfi Goya Muhammad?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, you are now in. Congrats.
You
Thank
know, I got this
That's
picture. I got this picture from a Tumblr. A Tumblr
Okay.
called GamerGate Harassment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that one.
yeah. That.
I think it
I
was.
remember this list.
But by the reason why you have to wait a lot of time to get inside the group is that when the information of the infiltrators was like we decided to be very picky with who we let in, despite the information being proven false.
It's alright, it's understandable. I mean, like, we're getting a lot of doxing, so we should be closed in a way.
Yeah. I actually don't have a Facebook, so that saves me a little bit. Plus,
Right.
my dad is DOD. He is like the highest security clearances with the Pentagon. So if I ever got doxxed, they'd be fucked.
Nice.
You know,
Wouldn't they be fucked because they actually committed an state crime?
Yeah, essentially it would
Pretty
be
much.
considered a terrorism. That's essentially what it'd be.
Then be a bait and get you dogs by every anti-GG
See,
people.
let me explain something to you. Although the anti-GG wouldn't kick my ass, my father would.
Okay, fine.
You know who else is in a similar situation in anti-GG?
Who?
Alex Lifshitz.
who?
I don't know who that is.
Remember there was that one photo of Zoe Quinn drinking with Adam Sessler and this other guy, watching the hacks go live. On
Oh,
Twitter?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Well,
Oh
the
man,
sad part
Adam
is-
Sessler. You know, you guys, if I can say something about Adam Sessler, man, you know, back in 2002, when my family had G4 Tech TV or something like that, I think it was called that by then. You know, my brothers and I, we watched the shit out of X-Play. We loved Adam Sessler, man. He made that show for us. And then, you know, he was one of my idols. I love the guy. And then I find out what he really thought about gamers. He compared us to customers of biological weapons. Or was it chemical weapons? No, it was chemical weapons. Chemical weapons, man. You know.
dude, if you hate your audience that much, man, go fucking find a new profession.
The
Yeah.
thing is, and I have seen this a lot, is that people believe that gaming is only a consumer thing, that it hasn't grown beyond that. But that couldn't be more wrong. We are actually a culture of itself,
Yeah.
and that's why they don't acknowledge.
Yeah. We're a culture, man.
That's really because they think we're too exclusive for them. They
We
want to
have our
join
own-
in, but
We have our own lingo
yeah.
and our own catchphrases from our favorite from various series.
And these
Some
guys,
of
they don't
us-
want to lurk more, you know?
Yeah,
Some
but
of us can even name. Some of us can even name off the top of our heads 5 video games that changed our lives for the better.
Mario,
games
Pokemon.
are, they sell
Ace
more
Combat,
as
Ace
well.
Combat, Ace Combat, and Ace Combat.
You know, I feel like a big thing about it is when someone says gamer or with these, I mean, for us, it means someone that plays a game and is active on it, you know, has a social experience with it. That, to me, was what a gamer is. Okay?
Have you played Asura's Wrath?
Yes.
Ooh, good stuff.
For me, that game is the testament of masculinity. That's all
Oh, yeah,
that
definitely.
masculinity represents to me.
But here's the thing: when someone that is outside of gaming, especially critics, think of gamers, and this is true of even the idol you were just speaking about, that the first thing that comes to mind are the 12 and 14-year-olds on fucking Xbox swatting each other over Call of Duty. That's what they have ingrained. That is such a damn shame, because when you have things like League of Legends over like the course of like 3 years become an actual like legitimate sport now. Well, it's an internet sport.
It's not only League of Legends; it's the whole MOBA gender.
Exactly, yeah. That was just one I named off the top of my head. I don't play any MOBAs either. Literally,
I play League of Legends. I play League of Legends.
I play League of Legends and Dota.
I can't
Hey,
play
Juan,
MOBAs at all, so.
what server you on?
In Latin America, of course.
Of course. Awesome. Me too. We should add each other.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played a lot because I have to be honest. I think Dota is better in a lot of ways.
I hear that a lot. I do.
Here we go. Here we go.
Look, I'm not causing a Dota versus LOL war, but what I hear
No,
is.
no, no.
Oh no,
We
that's way
gamers
more
love
fun
each
than.
other, so I'm not going to argue. It's just my opinion.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I can see why somebody will prefer League of Legends over Dota. They are actually very different games. It's like what do you like?
Street Fighter and Tekken.
No, I was thinking more of Spec Ops and Gears of War.
Ah.
Remember Spec Ops?
Yep.
That was amazing.
Spec Ops the line, right?
Yeah, Spec Ops The Line. That's it.
I've heard that, yes, and that's the problem I hear that Dota has is that they don't have as big as a fan base as LOL.
Yeah, because Dota is less accessible than League of Legends. Is harder. It's harder.
Yeah,
For me. I don't want to insult anybody.
Yeah, some Dota guy's gonna come over here. Shut up, you goddamn scrub!
Although, the arguments about my game is better than yours, my console is better than yours. I miss those things. I really do.
Yeah, remember the Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo war?
I do.
Oh my god.
Sega that what Nintendo don't?
Sega, yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I miss those days, man. I really miss those days.
I miss getting a fucking magazine once a month telling me why a game is good and why you will like it. That's what I fucking miss. Not this is why you're sexist and this is why you're playing it.
Yeah.
EGM and PSM used to be the greatest things ever.
I used to read Game Pro.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, Game Pro.
It has gone pretty badly in its quality.
Yeah.
Well, do they still do it as a monthly issue or is it like weekly?
Yeah. Didn't Game Pro fold?
I have no idea.
I know Game Informer is still in circulation, but that's because when you buy a game at GameStop, they practically hound you to buy the GameStop card. Buy the GameStop card, get 15% off the next game, and get a year's subscription to Game Informer. One reads it anymore, but who cares?
Here's more paper for your fire.
Here's more paper. Here's a supply of emergency toilet paper.
That is the good thing about not living in the United States. That publicity is a lot less. Is more subtle. It's more subtle. You don't get bashed with you have to buy you have to buy this or die.
Screw you, America's the best. We're number one.
What are you talking about? Glorious Nippon all the way, man.
I don't even know what that is.
The best country is Puerto Rico. Mi Borinquen.
Oh man. It's funny though because it's really, Anchorman 2. It was obviously a joke. Okay, it was a comedy. It was full of shit. But they did bring a point out that definitely stuck home. When they started the whole 24-hour media thing, the guy said one thing. They're not going to do shit all day. They'll just report on the important events throughout the days and take breaks. No, they report shit all day long. At least in America they do. I mean, everything is breaking news, headliner. Ebola is taking over the world.
Yeah.
Also, no more ships Iran. It's just like, God damn.
I gladly introduce our new Ebola overlords.
I know, right?
All hail Ebola-chan! All hail Ebola-chan!
Oh no!
If I have to choose Ebola and following Gawker, I will choose Ebola all the time.
God.
I would choose Gawker because at least I know that I'm stealing their content.
Oh my god, yes, do you remember the site that said that we were actually pirating their articles because we were archived them?
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yeah,
Oh my god.
that was
Do you know
hilarious.
what a consumer revolt is, woman? Jesus Christ.
Now I feel like my brain's melting to Ebola just by hearing that.
No, you want to hear something brain melting? Was when Brianna Wu was fighting with Hot Wheels, and her argument against his liability to his website was, "Oh, well, you have, you have slander on my website, and I learned that from journalism and copyright law." And the first thing I thought was, I'm pretty sure that copyright and defamation are completely two different scenarios.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just like, you fucking retarded. And I mean, like, in my day job, okay, I deal with law stuff all the time, and I tell you, every law and every subject is a totally different fucking story. But that's what bothers me the most about Brianna Wu. Her argument is, I have a software engineer degree. My participation in this is my volunteering, and you guys should be grateful that I'm participating. This is my godsend to you.
My god.
She
Woman.
She has a major ego, doesn't she?
That's I mean,
insane.
that's not what she directly said. Don't take that as a quote, but that's how I interpreted it every time she talks about, like, if you watch her first CNN review, watch the first 30 seconds. The first thing she says is, "I have a software engineering degree. I don't have to do this. I just choose to because I love video games." But how I interpret that is, I'm volunteering my time. Be grateful.
you know who
And her
Brianna
game
Wu
is
reminds
shit.
me of?
Who?
You know who Brianna Wu reminds me of? Yeah, I had this friend, and she would always bring up the fact that she has a bachelor's degree in social sciences every time she started talking about anything, economy, law, culture. She always started off saying, "Well, all I have is a bachelor's degree in social sciences, and I'm just a simple country girl. But I think blah 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 blah. Yeah. That was her."
No, I mean, the funny thing is I couldn't find any evidence that Brianna Wu had any degree besides political sciences and journalism. But I did find that her husband has a software engineering degree, so I'm starting to see the correlation here. My husband has it before I have it, which
Wait,
is
does
why
that-
he.
Breaking news: Brianna Wu is her own husband.
It's wait,
Have you
wasn't
seen her husband? Oh God.
two things. One, it sounds like she either has enslaved him or has literally grabbed his degree and put her name right on top of it. And second, wait, what was I going to say second? Ah, shit.
Yeah, I've been doing that too.
I think what I wanted to say, if I recall correctly, isn't she trans?
She is.
Yeah, she is. But dude, that's not a negative. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying. You said that she could be her own husband.
Well, have you seen her husband? He looks like he just got out of like a fucking concentration camp. He's balding and he just has like that whole like long hair thing going on, but it's like he's wearing a bald cap over his long hair. That's what it looks like.
Oh man.
And I feel really bad for him because it's like, okay, these two got married. You kind of see why. But it doesn't surprise me if she had him by the balls. You know, just like completely castrated him, as Colbert said, and put him in nice little firm purses.
Oh, that reminds me. I think I heard someone said that apparently something that wasn't aired on the interview was Colbert asking, "Do video games cause violence?" Sarkeesian said no, and he asks, "Then how does it cause misogyny?"
Yeah, it was posted on Reddit,
yeah.
but I don't see anything that came out of it, so I'm not even sure we can use it.
Yeah, don't have to take it with a grain of salt. So,
We
Which
should
sucks
use
because
that
that-
until we get the evidence.
Which sucks because that is a fantastic fucking point.
yeah.
But as I said, and I said it to these guys, but you weren't here when I said it. The thing about when Anita was on the Colbert Report, I feel like she did actually emphasize her genuine point, or she leaked it. I feel like leak is appropriate because she hasn't been really genuine about it, but she just wants the gaming universe to be more diverse, okay? And I can agree with that. I think mainstream games don't need to be all Call of Duty first-person shooters,
Yeah, I don't even play Call of
but
Duty.
she's not even a gamer.
Yeah.
She has no clue what she's talking about. Like, all
Remember,
of her videos are mostly bullshit.
remember, guys, that is the woman that blamed masculinity for all the violence in the world. That is the
Yeah.
woman that blamed GamerGate for all the harassment she has received.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
From what I have seen, I have concluded that they don't want more diverse games. They want more games that they consider politically correct or morally
That is
correct.
true.
Which is what we
Exactly
shouldn't
how it
have. We do need a little bit of controversy in our lives, so why do we need everything to be politically correct? We need things that are
I mean,
incorrect slightly.
if Sarkeesian was really in pro-inclusion of all games, she will support Bayonetta by all means. But she doesn't. She condemns it. So what the hell?
Because
Well,
Have you seen?
what if she did support it? Because I feel like that would have been a lose-lose for her. Because then everyone would be questioning, well, why is Bayonetta not sexist, but Mario is?
you know what? Someone should probably ask her. Does she think that humankind should be reproducing? And if she
Oh, go ahead.
and if she says no, I guess that means she's anti-human.
Well, let me ask
Somebody,
you this. Oh, go ahead.
I think. Do you know Maddox? Maddox, the comedian.
Oh yeah, he talked
Mhm.
about the Spider-Man alternative.
He
Something,
said
right?
something
Spider-Girl.
in that video that really got me, is that there is no more human act than sex.
Yep, total.
Sex is the most human act there is.
That is a good video.
It's funny though because Japan. I mean, everyone considers them perverts, but based on their laws, they're pretty. They like to hide everything, or they don't like it too open. Like they don't want it obvious. And the reason that happened was because the Japanese specifically, I'm not sure about the whole Asian culture, but just Japanese, they were really open about sex. I mean, they had no problems with it. But when they had their introduction to Europe, we had guns and they still had swords. Essentially, we told them they were too barbaric to trade with because they didn't follow our not Christian,
Customs,
evangelical values. Yeah.
Yeah, that did happen.
And that essentially caused them to censor themselves. So, all in all, what we need to agree is religion is the problem. No, I'm kidding.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, guys.
Make this about that.
It's society is to blame. High society.
Look, do you
The
want to blame the
patriarchy.
entire gender, or do you want to blame religion? Okay, take your pick.
That is actually an argument that you hear a lot in international debate, that Asian countries sometimes oppose really actively against human rights treaties because they believe they are really Occidental. They really believe they are really Western focused, not Eastern focused.
Yeah. And, just goes to show how much influence can a country tolerate that doesn't match their values. I mean, it's like today's it's the war on homosexuality at this point. Not like the whole thing, but a good example because we have generations, people 50s and 60s that are uncomfortable with it because it's against their moral value. And why is it what audacity do we have to tell them, oh, it's not wrong, it's perfectly acceptable? I mean, that's really hard for someone to hear, even though it's true, but it's hard for them to hear because that's their entire life, I'm not saying that's, that's justifying their viewpoint. Obviously, there's some negotiation needed there, but that's essentially what we're dealing with in that regard. Because you have an entire culture that's being challenged on their ethic values, and they're just like, dude, we've been doing this for centuries. What the fuck? Who the fuck are you?
What I get from all this is that culture is so important to an individual that it actually is a major point in its identity.
Yeah, kind of like gaming culture. Huh? Wonder where that came from.
That is actually why I mention it. Is that this is why there is a big deal to us. When Macintosh says that if you base your identity based on your hobby, you are a piece of shit or something like that. I mean, you don't respect gaming. You don't respect gamers. What the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah, clearly doesn't have anything passionate about.
Yeah, what do they...
Aside from his ideology.
Why do these people even want to be involved if they just don't want to... Why are these people even involved? That's a good question.
I think because they saw our culture as some kind of weak because of these stereotypes, and they thought they could mold it into something else.
I think I have a theory, a hypothesis. You know why social justice warriors are so interested in controlling the gaming community?
Because they want power. It's
because we are what they want to be, in a sense. We are
diverse now.
We are the one of the most diverse communities in the world, if not the most diverse. You know what kind of people gamers have? We have everybody. We have white people, Europeans, we have Africans, we have South Americans, North Americans, we have Australians, we have people from all countries of Earth except North Korea.
Quakers, bakers, candlestick makers.
Exactly.
North Koreans are technically gamers. They just play more, no electricity type of games.
Tabletop games. Tabletop.
Yeah.
They play Kim Jong-un wishes you to listen to him. Yeah. They play Kim Jong-un says.
Every time I hear something about Kim Jong-un, I don't know if it's a joke or if it's real. Like
that's a joke, man.
He is post-law.
That's a joke.
I mean, I once heard that he was going to make his haircut mandatory in all males.
He did.
And I was like, I don't know if it's a joke or if it's real. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up. I was like, damn, everyone got to look like him. Girls, no wonder there's no kids happening over there.
What was I thinking? That's, you know how, when they were calling it, how we were being called worse than ISIS?
Yeah.
Apparently, I heard that ISIS has even denounced GamerGate, which means that the anti-GamerGate people are on the same side as ISIS.
Like what happened was their Twitter account retweeted "Stop GamerGate" 2014. So yeah.
That's what killed that half set. That lasted 3 days?
And then ISIS was like. ISIS is like, why are you comparing us to them?
GamerGate is giving ISIS a bad name. Oh my god.
ISIS wants nothing to do with that shit.
Ethics and journalism? No.
We hate journalists. See?
Oh god.
Yeah, I was thinking. I've still not seen anyone. Except for the based mom being on TV talking from the other side, which is such a shame. I mean, David Pacman is the only one doing his job.
I know Base Mom declined an interview with The Daily Show because she knows that they'll try to spin an attack.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't notice. She just knew.
Yeah.
You know, if I may say something about the Daily Show, and I think we can, and I think this is and I know this is a point that a lot of people have said before, but Americans really should not be looking to a comedy show for news.
Completely agree.
Oh my God, that's.
Okay,
You should
before
be-
we continue, you know you're attacking a national treasure, asshole? No.
Newsflash, guys. Every country in the world except America believes America is a bully.
Yeah, well, you know, it's...
You don't have the most positive image at an international level.
We do.
Although at the same time, going USA is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, my dad works internationally, okay? He actually goes to NATO meetings and everything, and the first thing he'll tell me is the French are the biggest dicks on the planet. Because the French, I mean, God, we don't get along with anybody, apparently. But, you know, it's because... I'll be the first to admit it. America's become very corporate, and it's unfortunate. That's the fall of capitalism. It's necessary, but at the same time, there has to be rules. Obama tried to pass them. He got incredibly discredited for it. So then he watered them down, so they were worthless. And it's just like, okay, back to square one. Now you know what Obama's doing? You know what he's been doing the last 6 months? He's just been making money for the Democratic Party, and that's why a bunch of Republicans won this round.
Yeah.
Sell us your soul.
You know, when you talk to an American and you try to tell them, your country's not looking too bright, it sucks for us, but we're aware of it, and the rational ones they'll be the ones that'll agree with you.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Puerto Rican separatist. I support independence for Puerto Rico.
Didn't Puerto Rico want to be the 51st state? I know they voted against it, but wasn't it? I think it was Puerto Rico.
Well, in the year 2012, there was a referendum in regards to the status. There were two papers and two ballots, and the first ballot said, "Do you agree on keeping the current political status quo?" The alternatives were yes and no. This ballot had about 1.8 million votes. Okay, and the second paper was, which of these political statuses do you support? And the three alternatives were statehood, that's becoming the 51st state, something about an amplified commonwealth, and independence, that was the third. And on the first ballot, the no one with 54%. Had about 1.1 million votes or something like that. 54%. And the second ballot, and this is where it gets a little murky, the second ballot, statehood apparently won with 61%. So the then government in power, which was a statehood government, said the statehood won and that America should admit Puerto Rico as the 51st state. However, in counting the entire ballots, there was 800,000 votes for statehood, but there were 1.8 million votes total. There were around 300,000 votes for the improved Commonwealth, around 40,000 votes for the independence, and there were around 420,000 votes in blank.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was that these two ballots were given at the same time, and I'd like to ask you a question. If you vote yes on the first ballot, yes that you're satisfied with the current status, political status, what incentive would you have to vote on the second one?
None.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Man, that's because I know Guam and I forgot the other one, but I mean
American Samoa.
Huh?
American Samoa.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you know that there is a new Mountain Dew flavor of Doritos?
Yes,
Yeah.
I in fact posted that.
Doritos.
Oh my god, that's
Dorito
gross!
flavored.
That's fucking
They know,
gross!
man.
I tweeted that yesterday, right? And I said, "Behold, the new Gamer Journal's Pro's new drink of choice. You'll see articles about how amazing it is soon."
Oh god.
You just say like a guy like trying to like, hold his vomit. And he's like, "Best drink ever."
I thought it was a joke when I heard about it. Like a
No.
joke that we made.
Absolutely not.
Dude.
Oh
Absolutely
my
not.
god.
Dude,
Do you guys remember
guys.
Brondo?
Huh?
Do you guys remember Brondo? Idiocracy?
Oh, yeah. I love
That's pretty much
Braun.
what it is.
This is some guy asked, what? Oh shit, I can't. Damn it. Why the hell isn't it letting me link it? Okay, let's just do this. Someone asked what would be the animal for the anti-GamerGate movement. So I posted this.
I'd personally say a Black Widow.
Well, you click that and tell me.
You know who I think is the mascot of you know who I think is the mascot of the anti-gamer game?
Is the nega Vivian James. The negative Vivian James.
Yeah.
You know what I call her?
What?
Ariane.
Alina Life.
What?
Oh
Sorry.
god, nice.
Anita Life.
Oh my god. Yes. Anita Life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
that was actually pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah. I got it from someone who said it on the Facebook page. I don't remember who it was.
Give credit where credit is due. Hypocrite.
Yeah. I gotta give.
It's
Don't
sad. Even
don't steal from people and not say where you got it from.
Yeah, I don't remember who
even
it
Reddit
was.
managed to make one of their own.
Huh?
Even Reddit managed to make a character of their own, and Anti-GG
Yeah.
couldn't even do something like that.
Oh, I know. Like they just took it and they kind of just like reversed the colors. Oh, good
Yeah.
job.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
You know,
are
it's kind of like a Sonic recolor.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wait, are you saying that the anti-GG took Vivian James and reversed the colors?
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah.
that's what they
made
did,
her
exactly.
And they
They made him
her
Aryan.
They made her blonde and blue eyed.
They made her Hitler-esque. Let's put it that way. Hitler acceptable.
I
mean
guess
Ian
they really are
Malmsteen?
Nazis.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they took a redhead who they're like anarchy. They're like the
The fiery redheads.
yeah they're not common. And then they made her blonde with blue eyes. But, okay, what is she like?
Legally blonde. Remember that? Oh my god.
Okay, those movies were great. Do not bring those down in the dirt.
But, I mean, her initial character was pretty damn dumb. She has a great character development, but at the start she's really sad. She has a really sad existence.
What the hell? Polina?
Oh, did you
Wait,
just
is that her
Google
name?
her?
Yeah, what the fuck? They literally stole Vivian James, turned her white and pink and blonde?
Yeah.
Was I lying to you? Is she not Hitler acceptable?
Oh my god, they really are feminazis.
Yeah.
They
If
want
her colors are like white and pink, isn't that, what do you call that? Reinforcing the gender stereotype?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
What they're saying?
exactly what they do.
Why
You
do
know
you
what
think
I've
they would-
discovered?
What
You know
about the
what I've
green?
discovered?
What
What's
about the
up?
green and
Why haven't I-
purple?
Someone image to her real quick, because I'm gonna do something.
Remember,
really cool.
guys, green and purple is a rape reference.
Yeah.
That was so stupid. I was about to kill that person. I was like, are you serious? Okay, I better not say it like that, otherwise I will be ransacked. But, I was just like, okay, look, here's a rope. Go learn how to tie a knot and just find the nearest place that has enough height
But-
for you to
Do you know why green and purple is considered a rape reference?
Why?
Yeah, the Doctor thanks Doc thing, right? Piccolo.
Why? I couldn't hear.
Why?
It's a 4chan thing. Like,
Yeah,
have you ever
exactly.
heard the term of Piccolo dick?
Yeah, yes.
That's the one.
It's a picture of Piccolo raping Vegeta.
Oh
That
God.
is a rape reference.
Definitely, those two definitely correlate. You know, Piccolo. I mean, the two of those main characters definitely just like made the color controversy of all rapehood. That definitely works. I now understand.
Someone end my life. Now the thought is stuck in my head.
If I can ask Justin a question. Justin, gotta ask you a question, man. That picture you have there, what is that? Because it looks like an angel with wings of Christmas lights.
Is that Cerno?
Flandre. No, it's Flandre Scarlet.
Yeah, I don't actually play any of the Toro. God damn it, what are they called again?
Oh.
No.
Toho. I was getting confused with Toradora, but nonetheless, it was that music video, the shadow art. Bad Apple.
Bad Apple.
Yeah, and I just screen capped it because I liked how it was kind of like she's an angel, but then quickly the colors reverse and then she's a demon.
She's
Like
a vampire.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of people lecturing me about that. Okay.
Yeah. You gotta play the games though. They're fun as fuck.
Fuck no, I've seen those hellholes.
I have a few. I have the fighters. I have the fighters. I am more of the fighter game Toho than the actual shoot 'em ups.
I've never actually tried the fighters though.
Fighters are fun.
Those are probably easier to play than those goddamn things where it's like one pixel that you can navigate. It's just like, what the fuck is this? This is masochistic, man. No, I'm gonna find a picture of that Vivian James girl, and I'm gonna fuck it up.
You're gonna turn her into Paulina.
No. See, I wish I got this image without the frickin' without the stuff on the side. I'll just edit it out, I guess. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna take this girl and I'm gonna put like a stamp saying Hitler approved by her, and I'm gonna tweet it.
Hey, you put that in the GamerGate Facebook page.
Guys, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about a porn star supporting us?
Hey, it doesn't matter what she does for a living, man. Doesn't matter what she does for a living.
I know Roguestar's really happy about it.
Wait, who supports us?
I call her
Triple X.
What?
Mercedes Triple X. She's a webcam girl. I wouldn't call her is she a porn star? I think she's
she's a porn star.
If she hasn't starred in an actual porn film, you can't really call her a porn star.
Yeah, she's a webcam girl, but she does things with fans. It's essentially the gist of it.
She's done like videos before though.
Well, just because you do a video, I mean, like an amateur video isn't a porn star, you know. See, I'm a porn expert, you know. I watch a lot of it, so.
What did you say?
But in the websites that I go, she's listed as a porn star, as a professional porn star.
What websites do you go to?
Really? We are going. I could tell you, I'm not afraid. I go to Pornhub and Xvideos.
Casual, yeah. I mean,
I'm really
when I go knee deep, man. I go in the internet dark hole.
Do you go to D?
No, I don't go to D. How dare you?
I also go to Faku. I go to it.
I go to God, what was that called? Oh, Space Dicks. That's a great website. You should probably try it out.
It's called Space Dicks.
The name is only a joke. I mean, if you actually look at it, and I mean intensely, and make sure you're tied up so you can't click out of it instantly, you'll be fine.
Ultima, you want another traumatizing experience? Go to Bad Dragon.
No, thank you. Is that a dragon
Yeah.
dildo site?
Do you remember
Because
Radio
apparently
Nero?
those exist.
Do you guys remember Radio Nero? And they had a Bad Dragon advertisement in it?
Oh, no.
No, I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, like Milo's radio show had a Bad Dragon advertisement.
Wow.
And we were all like laughing when it happened.
Sorry, I'm just working on this image. It's gonna be funny.
What, Ultima? What happened?
Thoughts. Why do you keep on making me think of these horrible things?
Yes, we enjoy it.
Oh, God.
Anyway, guys. It's 1:44 a.m. for me, and this was supposed to be a weekend of studying for me.
Bullshit. You know, deep down.
It's getting late here as well, so if there's anything specific we haven't covered yet, just say it now, because I was thinking about closing it, like putting out your Twitter handles and just closing stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna have to go as well. Like, I haven't had lunch and it's 2:45 yet. 2:45 now.
Yeah, is there anything you guys want to add?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna finish up this Hitler picture, and I'm gonna.
I want to add a few things just for you to remember. Is that first, I am really glad you are in the group. You make the group great. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Stay strong. Don't let the media get you.
We will not.
The only way we can lose is if we surrender. That's the only way we can lose.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, and we have
Absolutely.
the Facebook group if people want to join, and just usual discussion.
And
So, yeah.
many-
Oh,
many
and one thing,
words.
if you wanna do this again, I will be honored to come back. And
Yeah, I'm gonna post it if people are interested here, and on Twitter as well.
I'd love to come back. I love this. This is a great experience.
This is a pretty good stream.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I have followed you all. I know your Facebooks and your Twitter. So if I'm gonna do this again, I'll just contact you guys.
All right.
Great, thanks.
If I may say a few words before we close.
Yeah, sure.
A few words. Okay. As you know, right now when the media is giving you this narrative, when the media is trying to tell you what to think, what to say, what to feel, it's your job to look at the facts. It's your job to go anywhere, search what's really going on. No one should ever just take anything they are told at face value. And that's one of the biggest things GamerGate's fighting against. We're fighting against the media that's trying to sell a narrative to its people, and it's corrupt as heck, isn't it?
Yes. Absolutely.
It was but verify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Investigate. Don't let anyone tell you what to think.
That's the best mantra that we've gotten through as thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna close it, and I hope I'll see you guys around, and you join in again at a later point. So thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
All right,
Adios.
bye.